Defense Minister Venezuela, me can speak Spanish, but I want to tell you something. Defense Minister Venezuela, me can
Mic check, mic check, mic check. Give me a mic check. Can you hear me? I know how you UNC supporters do. You let me talk for a whole freaking hour and not say nothing. Mic check, mic check. Can I get a mic check? Let me check the levels on this mic check. Looks good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Slimy Show. How you guys feeling today? This stream is only for the weed smokers. If you don't smoke weed, get off the stream right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Slimy Show. But before we get started, before we start desecrating stuff, let's start the show as we usually do with a prayer from Sister Aisha. Let's bow your heads in silence.
Of the imperial arrogance that has long treated Caribbean lives as expendable in the name of security. Let us be clear, this is not protection, this is recolonization. Trinidad and Tobago's alignment with U.S. military objectives marks a catastrophic betrayal of the Caribbean consensus that our region must remain a zone of peace. In a single stroke, our leadership has reversed decades of struggle towards regional autonomy, from the Federation Dream to the founding principles of CARICOM, by inviting a foreign power with documented history of anti-Black, xenophobic, and extractive aggression into our waters. This government has traded the dignity of the people for the optics of proximity to empire. We must name it for what it is: the sale of sovereignty dressed as diplomacy. What we are witnessing, the invasion of our Caribbean waters, the killing of 32 men on alleged drug boats without due process or evidence, is not justice. It is murder. It is imperial violence dressed up once again in the rhetoric dog whistle of security and war on drugs. Again, let us be clear, this is not about drugs. It is about natural resources. It is about oil. It is about power. The United States, abetted by local collaborators, has long used narratives to justify control over territories rich in natural resources and geostrategic access. Our region has been a pawn in their empire building for centuries. With the apparent complicity now of our own leadership, the cycle continues. To our goodly Prime Minister, I say this: allegiance to empire is not leadership, it is capitulation. It is the mimicry of colonial power masquerading as progress, even as it alienates us from our Caribbean brothers and sisters who continue to insist on peace, independence, and regional self-determination. I write not as a partisan. I have long unsubscribed from our party-led politics, nor do I subscribe to the bankrupt capitalist system that sustains them. I write as a Caribbean socialist, aligned with the unrealized visions of those who imagined freer, fairer, more humane futures for our people. From Claudia Jones to Una Marsan to CLR James to Morris Bishop to Audre Lorde to Sylvia Winter, may they all walk in power. Their work reminds us that another world was always possible, even when empire insisted otherwise. What we face now is a moral and ideological crisis. Not just of governance, but of imagination. It is time to reclaim both. We must begin to dream again, knowing we do not have all the answers, but still willing to painstakingly envision a brave new hybrid, uncolonized way of being, living and thriving outside of the death-riddled machinery of capitalism and militarism that has never served us. Caribbean sovereignty is not for sale. Caribbean lives are not collateral damage. And peace, true peace, must never be bartered for power. I am taking this public stance for my baby girl so that one day when history measures who stood silent and who spoke, there will be record that I did not sit idly by. However small, inconvenient, maybe terrifying or inconsequential it may seem to some, silence in moments such as these is complicity. So I stand here today for my daughter, for our children, for those not yet born. Let this be on record. I am Abeo Aisha Christabel Jackson, sixth-generation American from the lineage of Amphi and Bashana Jackson.
Thank you. Amen. All right, ladies, gentlemen, let's get started. Welcome, 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 welcome to the Slimy Show. This show today is for the weed smokers. Alright? If you pissed off that your marijuana now costs more in Trinidad and Tobago, this stream is for you. So, welcome once again to the Slimy Show, broadcasting on the Workers' Right 868 platform on Facebook and YouTube. Broadcasting also on YouTube at the Slimy Show. Broadcasting on X and also Twitch. And also the Workers' Right 868 website at workersright868.com. So ladies and so smokers, tell me how you feel. I want to know how you guys feel today. So I'm here over here in the United States laughing at you because my weed still costs the same. My price hasn't gone up. So I'm here a little bit to laugh at you. Are you winning? This show is for the weed smokers. Come on. Let's get started. So your Prime Minister is saying that the drug boats, the drug strikes, she knows that they're working because the cost of weed is now more expensive in Trinidad and Tobago. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's get to the first video. So this is your Prime Minister. We on to the next topic. We on to this topic of bombing, and she was in Tobago, and someone stuck a camera in her face, and this was your reply. I really don't know what is going on with this government. It seems like there's nothing but a bunch of kunumunus in there, and whenever you stick a camera in front of a UNC representative, you get nothing but kunumunu answers. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a listen to your Prime Minister.
So what can you tell us about this alert that we heard?
So this is,
Defense Force, all active members being called.
I think this is actually a dated video. I'm a little late on this. This is like a couple days old, but it's still fun to laugh at this woman.
To duty.
I don't know.
How's the audio, everyone?
No knowledge about that. I'll find out.
What can you say to the public right now? Some members of the public are some schools asking to dismiss some places, some business
Well, I
places
guess there's
asking.
a lot of rain, so they may want to go home. That happens at times.
But just because of the rain?
So everybody was scrambling. Everybody was scrambling on Friday, clogging up the streets, clogging up the groceries, getting all in a panic because of Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica. Oh, and that's actually one topic we're going to talk about tonight. I wanna show you guys some of the destruction that happened with this hurricane. Why are people calling me when I'm live?
I don't know. No one has requested these things of me. So when it comes on my desk, this phone, I've seen nothing of that sort, and I get a lot of messages. So if there's a situation,
Kunumunu
I
Prime
will
Minister.
deal with it.
When we look at the US reports talking about an imminent strike on Venezuela, has that come across your
That
desk?
has not come. Yes, I've seen the reports. I've also seen where President Trump is saying something different. So again, there's a lot of speculation, not just here, not locally, everywhere. I mean, it's a situation that really demands everybody's attention. We will keep our eyes and ears peeled and act when we see it's appropriate. We are not sitting ducks as we say here. We might be getting rained on, we're not sitting ducks in the rain. We have been receiving intelligence reports, and thus far I have none that there's an imminent strike anywhere.
This is the leader of Trinidad and Tobago. there was a call that went out to the army, police, whatever, to have a meeting at 1800, that caused the whole country to go into panic, and your leader has no idea, no clue what is going on.
To the nation right now, the weekend is coming, people will be out and about.
This video was done on Friday.
What would you say to it?
I will say, be calm. There's nothing to fear at this time. I cannot predict the future, but on my cards, on my books, there is nothing to fear. We go in this morning,
How are we supposed to stay calm if we can't smoke weed? Miss Kamala Prasad Besessa. How are we supposed to do that? Because weed has this effect on the human body where it like calms you down, it relaxes you, and so when your population, your capitalist population doesn't have this vent, what do you think is going to happen, Ms. Besessa? But anyway, let's continue with this Kunumunu leader.
State of emergency. The data shows us clearly that it has worked as an instrument. It is not a cure-all, it's not a panacea, but it has worked. Murders are down, other serious crimes are down, and this is why, based on recommendations from Commissioner of Police, we want to extend the state of emergency.
So, the state of emergency, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm a little stupid, right? And I was smoking weed. Wasn't the state of emergency in Trinidad first put on because it was like a specific issue? It was used to, because there was something about somebody in some prison trying to use some rocket launcher to blow up some building in some attorney general, something like that was the bullshit story that they gave you, right? But here we are, this Kunumunu leader, Miss Nusari, talking about the SOE is in place to reduce crime. Why do you accept this, people? Why do you UNC supporters looking on with anger right now, looking at me, clowning your leader? Why do you accept this? Why do you support this? Why don't you speak out instead of saying you have this great leader who is actually destroying the country? Why don't you speak out? Why don't you start like turning against this woman? Huh? What would it take?
What would have happened in the 5 days that the USS Gravely was here, and are we expecting any more vessels to show up?
It was very calm, very peaceful. We saw Little Sharon visiting that warship.
We are in the 5th circle of hell, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? We are in the 5th circle of hell, where we have children visiting machines of death. Oh my God, I messed up my slide. You know what? I am so embarrassed to be a Trinidadian right now. I think I want to move to Barbados. I think I'll learn to go speak Bajan and hope that someone over in Barbados can adopt me. Because this is ridiculous now. It's like every time someone sticks a camera in any UNC member, it's not just this woman here, it's every single one of them. Every single one of them are stupid. Like Trinidad and Tobago right now is being run by the Dotish crew. Why are you not in the streets right now, Trinidad and Tobago? Why are you on the live listening to me complain? Smoking my cheap
This
weed.
partnership with the US against narco traffickers, are you satisfied with the information that you're getting from the US? Are they being cooperative when you would make your own inquiries as to what's happening, anything like that?
Sure, we've been in touch with the Charge d'Affaires here. My Minister of Foreign Affairs has been in touch. Once before you asked me something and I told you we could get the whole
Ganja.
when we were in New York and you asked me, I said there's always room for improvement. There is always room for improvement, but thus far there's nothing that has me unduly worried at this point in time.
Are we looking at oil prices going up and down because of uncertainty in the market? Should they have nothing to fear to? We are a oil and gas energy economy still.
I don't understand.
There's uncertainty in the market because of what people are hearing in Venezuela. Have you been following that, paying attention to that, what that can mean for our economy?
Well, we always have had because of our energy-based part of the economy, we've always had price shocks. We've had production shocks as well. We've been able to weather those thus far, and we continue to monitor the prices on the world market. Okay? Quite frankly, at this point in time, gentlemen, ladies, we have no cause for concern.
Anybody know what school Kamala went to in Trinidad? Was she educated in Trinidad? What school did this woman pass? What are her qualifications? Every time this woman gets in front of the camera, I get vexed. And I know you do too. Because now your weed costs more. Now your cigarettes cost more. Now your alcohol costs more. Now you can't relax like you used to. You can't kick back and go home and sit down in your chair like me, like this. You can't feel that soothing buzz that cannabis gives to you without now paying more money.
If and
I'm
when
sorry,
that happens,
my brothers and sisters in Trinidad. I'm sorry for laughing at you. I'm sorry for laughing at you. You know, I have my cheap weed and you guys don't. I'm better than you right now. I'm sorry, but we have to. If you don't laugh, you're gonna cry, right?
I will share it with you as soon as it comes to me.
Do we have a plan for if and when it happens? Like,
Well, I'm sure I guess.
we practice for hurricanes, earthquakes, but I don't
I
think
don't even know we practice for hurricanes. I'm not sure we do. We've seen what has happened to Jamaica, and all our love goes out to them.
No, John. Kamala people are actually.
Supplies.
Yo, listen. If you think the UNC supporters are embarrassed by their prime minister, I will refer you to this YouTube channel called The Ground Report. And if you want to see stupid, if you want to see dotish, if you want to see the least intelligent members of our society, go on to that program.
Relief supplies. This morning we sent off some medical supplies with Caribbean Airlines, and they've now requested to get some help with personnel for TNF.
All right, she's talking about Jamaica now.
Sit down all their power lines. So I think during this week we are sending a few senior people first, and then we may send about 25 in a battalion to assist them because all their power lines are down. So we are focusing on helping them. Haiti and Cuba now, we have to also redo our efforts to try to also send some help to Cuba and Haiti and some of Bermuda, but Cuba is
Phone guy.
badly hit.
This is what you voted for, phone guy.
So what was your question?
Just one more time. What is the plan if we reach that state of war, for lack of a better?
Teaching in all seriousness and with greatest of respect. I think it's appropriate to share whatever a plan may be and whatever the plan is. These are national security matters. They're exceedingly sensitive matters. And I do not think it is for me to be at liberty.
Why is she always yelling at
National
Keishan?
security plan.
Keishan is like one of the best reporters we have right now. Why is she always get being hard on Keishan? Can anyone answer me that? It almost seems like Kamala don't like to be asked questions.
Plans at this point in time.
What should the public be doing in that event?
The public should be going about their business.
You hear that, Olia?
Keep strong.
Keep strong.
Always put your faith in the Almighty.
Put your
We'll
faith
be
in the
fine.
Almighty.
We will be fine. Again, I assure you, if there was any cause for concern for Trinidad and Tobago, I will share it with you. Prime Minister, we will share it with you.
This video was taken on Friday, by the way.
Was that word getting wet?
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
always.
You will have a very blessed day, and thank
Thank
you
you
so
very
much.
All our best to Mr. Bisesta as well.
Yes, I will. No, he's fine, you know. It's just he walks a little.
Okay.
It comes.
Trinidad and Tobago. That is your prime minister. How you feeling? I gotta figure out a way to change these slides. All right, I want to since she mentioned something about Jamaica. I wanna. I think this is the slide. All right, So Jamaica had this horrible hurricane, and I want to show you guys some of the destruction that happened in Jamaica. Since she actually mentioned that in the video when she was speaking just now, and I want you guys to pay attention. Actually, let me take the music off because this is actually pretty bad. This is Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen. Our fellow brothers. This is what the country looks like right now, at least certain parts of the country. So this is Prime Minister Holness in a helicopter, and he's currently touring the damage that happened. Look at this. I didn't know it was this bad, man. Wow. Even the concrete houses, even though they're still standing, they got all their roofs blown off. This is horrible. This kind of damage almost looks like a nuclear bomb. Like a. Then again, I'll talk about that later. With the United States weaponizing weather, it almost the way this storm formed, it almost seems like it was manipulated. The video is about 12 minutes long. I'm going to play the entire thing because I want you guys to see the extent of the damage. Look at this. It's almost like a nuclear bomb. This actually has more power than a nuclear bomb because it's like it's like 2 or 3 cities got decimated from what we saw in the helicopter ride. This is the Prime Minister of Jamaica walking with the citizens. Mr. Holness?
I would say about 90% of it. That would be your estimate. About 90% of it. After today's assessment.
Yowza. Wow. That's an electrical transformer. What is that? Oof. Do you guys still have those exposed power lines like that in Trinidad? Or did you start burying them yet? Jamaica had this is not the first hurricane that Jamaica's experienced. Why haven't they like improved their infrastructure? At least those electrical lines should have been buried by now. That is so dangerous.
I don't know if you want to.
So we walk around.
Yeah, walk around instead of through the wall.
This is so bad. And you guys in Trinidad should consider yourself tremendously blessed. Oh, I have a friend in Jamaica. I haven't heard from her in a while. I tried to reach out to her, and this is so horrible.
Nothing.
At least the hospital is safe, looks like. This video I got from Prime Minister Holness from his direct feed on X, and I copied it and put it over for you guys.
I see that. I want to thank all of you for your service. I know Must have been a harrowing experience.
Very, very. The most terrifying experience in all my life, and I would not want to see it again.
But you don't report any loss of life.
Thank God. God has been good to us.
No, not because of the storm. But obviously, the care that you have taken in protecting the patients would have been I don't know if you have had an opportunity to see the rest of the town, but certainly would have heard.
We're not sure what's going on. Many of us don't know what is happening to our children, our parents, because we are here. We are here.
Big up to my nurses. Big up to all my nurses. Even though I know you guys, you know, to my nurses, even though you guys are assholes in real life, you know, you guys really do put a service out for the people. You know, wherever you are worldwide, big up to all the nurses out there.
I don't think none of us are competent enough to describe what happened. It is beyond imagining. We can't really imagine. At one point you would think that you have some missiles just letting go in the glass. You just see things just going here, there, glass, boom. And in spite of everything, patients are there to take care of.
And I think I discussed to you in one of my previous videos that the United States has the ability to weaponize weather. Not only can the United States control hurricanes, they can actually control earthquakes. But that's you know what? Maybe I should set up like a Slimy Show conspiracy theory section where we can like dig into all of these like HAARP, HAARP. If you want, you can Google that. Even if you use Google, like the information on HAARP will still come up. Do you know that the sun, our sun, the yellow sun, actually influences weather patterns on our planet, but not in the way that you think? We have like a magnetosphere. We have like a shield protecting the Earth called the magnetosphere. And when the sun does these ejections, it's called coronal mass ejections. It sends out these particles out into space. And when those particles hit our like magnetic field, it like energizes the atmosphere. And that energy that's transferred from the sun to our atmosphere can actually influence how the plates work on our planet and actually cause earthquakes, right? So scientists discovered that since if you can somehow find a way to magnetize or energize the ionosphere, you could actually influence earthquakes wherever you want. And you guys, if you want, you can look this up. It's called HAARP, HAARP, and look into the. I did an article on this. I forgot the exact name what it's called, but it's a base in Antarctica. All right, hold on. I gotta answer this phone. Play out this video in the meanwhile.
Even after the storm, we have emergencies using lanterns and flashlights, but God has been good to us.
So what we're doing now is the initial assessment of the damage. We have with us the acting Chief of Defense Staff and Brigadier Williams as well. And they are doing their assessment that will feed into Advent. Hopefully by tomorrow we will have cleared the routes in to Black River because they're all blocked now. There's no traffic that can come in vehicular from outside. As I'm seeing, some of your transmission towers are down, so telecommunications will be affected. Of course, almost all of your electrical grid is down.
So this is the
No,
doctor.
that's what we're trying to do now. We're doing an assessment to see where we need to put what equipment.
So anyway, as I was saying before, so scientists they have this base in Antarctica where they were doing experiments on the ionosphere, like they can energize it. And the first time they actually activated that machine, there was an earthquake in Australia. This big earthquake that happened in Australia a couple years ago, that was because of this what is the name of this device? I forgot the name of it. But so that is how humans can actually influence earthquakes on a planet. They can also influence hurricanes and weather patterns, and they can create storms. Like look up this experiment that was done in Buffalo, New York, in like about 1960, where a professor, he went up to like a mountain and he took like a couple ounces or grams of dry ice, and he sprinkled it into the atmosphere, and just that act caused like a great snowstorm in Buffalo, in that area. So from that experiment on, they've been experimenting on ways how to influence the weather and influence hurricanes. The way they influence hurricanes is with actual radar beams. This might sound crazy, it might sound like really nuts to you, but there's this show that I actually introduced you guys to a couple lives ago, Redacted. They did a presentation on how there was this storm that happened in the United States right before Trump got elected, and it was this hurricane that came inland into the United States and hovered above one state. I the like exact details are escaping me right now. And so this guy on Redacted went and gave a presentation on how he was monitoring the radar stations around that area, and depending on how you shoot a radar signal, you can actually ionize, like depending on the power of the radar, you can actually cause the atmosphere to be ionized in front of the radar. Like if a human was to go and stand in front of a radar transmitter at full power, he would die. He would just like disintegrate. So if it has that power to affect like human skin close by, imagine like what it does to the air molecules and to the atmosphere. It ionizes it. So the guy was demonstrating on ways and there's actually websites that actually monitor stuff in America, like radar stations, aircraft tracking and ship tracking, all of that stuff. Like all of this data is all available online. And this guy was like accessing the radar station data and comparing it to the storm, and it showed that the like certain beams of radar were being aimed at the hurricane to direct it in a certain path. And if you remember this Hurricane Melissa, I might sound really stupid and crazy to you right now, but hey, just listen, right? This Hurricane Melissa was like hovering and acting really weird for like a few days before it actually hit Jamaica. It almost seemed like it was being juiced up. You know what I mean? It was like acting crazy right before it hit. Like it almost like it seemed like they were trying to magnify the storm bigger than it was. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's just nature that did this to Jamaica. I don't know.
Meant to move. I know it's rough. I know it's rough for me, but I have to pull it out now. All right. I have to just hold it out. By tomorrow, ever, roads will be open.
Yes, you got it. Iron Beam. Martin. I got. Let me change the way the location of the screen, because I have to look up to read the chat. Let me put it down on this level right here where I can look at you. Martin Al-Amani. I was in the CIA making this. Hey, Martin. So tell us more in the chat. Tell us more about how this is influenced. Martin seems like a man of knowledge. So tell us about the CIA, how they ionize the atmosphere to actually change the direction of a storm and hurricanes, or how they can change a hurricane, or how they can change a storm into a hurricane. Because from the way hurricanes work, it uses it uses power differentials, temperature differentials. Like it basically, a hurricane gets its power, most of its power from the temperature of the ocean. So with this hurricane, it almost seemed like they were hovering the hurricane over like a certain area to get juiced up before they released it into wherever they had to do. But that's me. That's slimy. That's what I believe. That's how I think. I like nothing is real anymore. And but my question, like, Jamaica has been subservient to the United States. They've been doing everything that the United States wanted. Why would the United States do this to the country? Is one question I would ask myself.
That is something that we could.
Yeah, I can't talk to the road.
And yes, iron beams can manipulate storms. Why am I going to Rowley? And actually, maybe it's actually appropriate that this slide comes up right now, because in recently in social media, Keith Rowley has been going wrong with this statement. I know you guys have said, because I've seen you repeating it a lot. Who dead, right? So let's pivot away from the Jamaica situation and hurricane conspiracy theories over to this thing right here. So let me give you guys something you've never seen before. So Keith Rowley, no, actually just listen to this video.
We're upwards approaching 80% occupancy. All the IC units are almost used. We are told today they are 90% occupied. What exactly are we saying? Because there's a phrase that is missing from this position, saying that what they are fighting for and what they will lay down for is the right of choice. I understand that. I accept that. But you know what that also is saying to the population? And I read that from this document. It's saying, let us leave it to choice, and who live, live, and who dead, dead. Live, and who dead, dead. Live, live, and who dead, dead. And who 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 live, live.
See what I'm doing right here?
And who live, live, and who live, live, and who dead, dead. And who live, live, and who dead, dead. And who live, live, and who dead, dead. I understand that. I accept that. But you know what that also is saying to the population? And I read that from this document. It's saying, let us leave it to choice, and who live, live, and who dead, dead. And who live, live, and who dead, dead.
Oh, come on. Frickin' slides. So listen to this again. So certain actors took the words of your former Prime Minister Keith Rowley, he who live, live, dead, dead, and they used this little clip of him when he was actually at a COVID conference trying to tell people to get their vaccinations, because we care about you and we love you so much that we don't want you to dead, we want you to live. Get it? I hope you feel a little different about Keith Rowley after you hear this.
All the IC units are almost used. We are told today they are 90% occupied. What exactly are we saying? Because there's a phrase that is missing from this position, saying that what they are fighting for and what they will lay down for is the right of choice. I understand that. I accept that. But you know what that also is saying to the population? And I read that from this document. It's saying, let us leave it to choice, and who live, live, and who dead, dead. That is what is being said. A government in this situation cannot accept that.
How you feeling, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Slimy Show. Welcome to the Slimy Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Like and share, like and share. Today is a beautiful day. Today is a beautiful day. And you know why? Because Dick Cheney is dead. Ladies and gentlemen, where is my applause track? Renison. Ladies and gentlemen, as you sit back and you puff on your now expensive blunt, feel relaxed, take a deep breath. A demon has passed on. We have one less war criminal on the planet to deal with. Today is a happy day for the world, ladies and gentlemen. Dick Cheney is dead. Moving on to other news. Back to Kamala. All right. So let me go fill up my glass. I need to get something to drink because I'm losing my voice again. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute. All right, I'm back. All right, actually there was one slide that I wanted. There was a video that I wanted. There's a video that I wanted to show you. And I want to give some props to Andy Williams of the Ground Report. Change is good, ladies and gentlemen. Change is good. And I want to highlight a change. Where are my freaking slides? Oh, where is it? There was this video on this thing that I wanted to show you guys. All right, let me see if I can pull it up in it. I didn't put it in my slides. You see, before I do this show, it actually takes me a good 4 hours to prepare for your show, because in addition to me looking at news channels like all day long, looking at stories, looking at current events, I actually have to copy videos, upload videos to YouTube, put them into slides, and then present them to you. And there was one video that I wanted to show you that is not here. It was this international journalist did a report on the after effects of the boat leaving, of the United States pulling out of Trinidad. Come on. All right, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I didn't save it where I was supposed to save it. In the meanwhile, the number to call in is 347-791-3311. If you have something that's on your mind, if you're a weed smoker like me and you're upset that now you have to pay more for your marijuana, the number to call in is 347-791-3311. So while I try to pull up this video for you guys, because now Trinidad is on the international stage, you guys know that, right? We got Al Jazeera, we got the BBC. Are you shitting me? I deleted it.
Well, in some breaking news, sources have confirmed active duty soldiers have been ordered to report to duty and assemble at various military installations as part of a large...
You guys know why I want to play?
No, that's not it. Oh, for the love of Christ. What, it was this journalist, they did a presentation on the after effects of what would happen after the United States leaves and the detrimental effects on Trinidad. Oh, I got so much stuff to talk about. The PNM did a meeting yesterday. I want to big up to Amy Brown. I want to give a shout out to Amy Brown because Amy Brown listens to the Slimy Show. Where's my applause track, Renison? All right, let me take a break right while I go hunt for this video. 1 second. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Slimy Show. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying my presence, if you're enjoying my voice. Like and share the stream. You're here to learn. This is not like the Grung Report where we talk about Penny's belly. Here you actually come here to learn. And speaking of the Grung Report, I'd like to give a big up to Andy Williams for actually making an attempt to show this video to his viewers. And I'm about to show you the video right now, and I'll comment after on what happened after he showed this to his viewers.
Tonight, I want to explain a small country Hello and welcome to Times XP. I am Dhruti Atri, and we are going to talk about a small country that could become the biggest loser in the US-Venezuela conflict. Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Just 1.4 million people. Two small islands, tiny in size, but one of the most important energy hubs in the Caribbean. And here's the problem. If America and Venezuela go into a direct war, Trinidad and Tobago is stuck in the middle of the power struggle that it cannot survive. Let me break this down for you. Two islands, a population of just 1.4 million people, as I just said. Most Indians in India don't even realize this country has one of the biggest Indo-Caribbean population. Almost 40% of the population is of Indian origin. Yes, Trinidad was once a British colony. It gained independence in 1962. Its wealth for decades came from oil and natural gas, and today almost 40% of their entire government income is from energy. This is not a tourist island, by the way, it's an energy island. Trinidad and Tobago's economy lives on gas, not tourism, not tech.
Don't you just love that Indian accent? Energy. We an energy hub. We energy.
Island, by the way, it's an energy island.
Energy.
Trinidad
We are an energy island. You get that, people?
Island. Trinidad and Tobago is from energy. This is not a tourist island, by the way, it's an energy island.
Energy
Trinidad
island.
and Tobago's economy lives on gas, not tourism, not tech.
Gas.
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 The country's LNG sector is one of the largest suppliers in the entire Western Hemisphere. 40% of all government revenue comes from energy. Now, if that steam gets disrupted, the country collapses financially. And where is some of the gas coming from? The Dragon gas field inside Venezuela's maritime zone. Trinidad needs access to that gas for future production in 2024. The energy giant Shell and Trinidad's LGC were negotiating with Venezuela to unlock that particular field after the US eased the sanction. But now, war clouds. Trump has deployed 10,000 troops, warships, special forces to the Caribbean. Russia has now inserted military aircraft into Venezuela. The Caribbean all of a sudden looks like a Middle East. Yes, small islands surrounded by superpower weapon. And Trinidad is right there, trapped between Venezuelan territorial water and American military assets. You know, if conflict explodes here, gas deal freezed. Investment stops, companies panic, LNG terminals slow down. This means that Trinidad will lose billions of dollars in the next 5 years. Not millions, billions. Because energy investors hate war zones. This also hits their own people. Trinidad already has young unemployment rate that is nearly 9%. It has inflation above 4.7%. If the gas sector gets hit, that number jumps into double digits immediately. And once the jobs are gone, crime rises, immigration rises, social tensions explodes. Also, there is a second danger here. Venezuela already hosts one of the world's deepest pro-Russian network. If war erupts, Russian and maybe, just maybe, Iranian assets also, they can use Venezuelan ports and airstrikes. United States military assets will respond from nearby Caribbean water. And guess who is sitting right in the middle of this two-sided geographical war? Trinidad and Tobago. This island.
And what is happening is you have propagandists on the UNC side that are saying that even if America bombs Venezuela, Trinidad got nothing to do with that. We don't got nothing to do with that. This is how the UNC people are thinking about this. It's almost like it almost seems to me like they're encouraging the destruction of Trinidad. They either that or they're fully stupid. They see all of this happening and still follow blindly behind this government and everything that their people are doing. You have the dumbest people in history. It's like she picked the dumbest members of the country and put them in leadership roles. It's almost like it's a slap in your face. It's like a joke to you. But I would like to give a big up to Andy. Miss Arima, welcome. No, but I'm giving up a big up to Andy on this one because he actually played this video for his audience. After I cussed him out 2 days ago, the next day he came on and he actually tried to do a good job and actually tried to, instead of talking about the nonsense distraction stuff that they always do on the show, talking about weak belly penny weak, that all that bullshit, he he actually played this video for his audience. And the way he reacted after the way the audience reacted was totally disgusting. You should have read the chat. Actually, I don't wanna to stink him up too much on the live. I would just like to commend him for actually doing a good job and actually trying for the first time in a long time to actually relay news and put that information to his audience. But his audience, once they saw this video, they totally rejected it. They why are you playing this? Oh, this is fake news. Oh, none of that is true. Oh, none of that is gonna happen in Trinidad. And Andy, instead of being a host and taking charge of his audience, because he's an influencer, it is his job to influence. But instead of taking the next step, because he as a presenter, just like I'm doing to you, I have to take time out of my day, like hours upon hours, to actually look up stories to actually present to you. Andy should have been doing the same shit. And if he takes time out of his day to present a story to his audience, he should be trying to relay a message. And if the message is not understood by the audience, it is his job. I'm reading the freaking chat and I'm reading Mr. Rimas' government. So it is his job as a host, as an influencer, to get his audience up to speed. Like for one time, for the first time in a long while, he was like literally out of propaganda mode. But then soon as his audience like rejected this video, he just caved in. So Andy, good job. I'm happy that you listened, but now take it up to a different level. Now it's time to be a leader and actually start teaching your audience the right stuff. Congratulations on that. I'll lay off your ass for today, but my eye is on you.
Could become the parking lot between the two militaries.
Welcome, Miss Arima.
Scared investors leave, tourists die, sports get militarized, sea routes.
And ladies and gentlemen, in this chat, Miss Arima has the big dick. She has the big dick stick. But you know what, Miss Arima, let me tell you this. I want to encourage free speech. If I cannot defeat the speech in chat, if I can't defeat chat with my intelligence, then I shouldn't be on this platform. I shouldn't be presenting to you. If someone in the chat says something that I don't like, if I don't have the intelligence and the strength to let that person speak and probably correct his thoughts with my influence, then I don't deserve to be here. Okay, so that's the message I want to give to you, Andy. Be good, do good. Because I want you to think about this, right? Fast forward a little bit. Let's say, and this happened to me, because you guys have seen me over the past year, like switch my allegiances. I first started off supporting Philip Alexander. Then I went over to the UNC team, because I thought I saw potential. Then I swung back to the P&M team. Now I'm outside of all of those teams. Right? So if I can do this, if I can change my allegiances, so can your supporters, Andy. But the bad side of that is when you lose a supporter, that person becomes extremely angry at you for lying to them and messing with their heads for all this time. So let's say we're in a time of war. Let's just extrapolate. Let's just say Trinidad did get bombed, and Trinidad did go to war, and all of this economic stuff that this lady is talking about actually did fall on the country. Kamla Prasad and the entire government and all of the elites have the ability to pack up their bags and leave. You don't, Andy. And what do you think the citizens of the country will do to you? Think about this. I want you to, when you go to bed at night, whatever money you're getting, I want you to think about the ramifications of if this goes bad. If Trump does launch an attack on Venezuela, what will happen in Trinidad? And then what will happen to me? Because when the people get vexed, and they will get vexed, they will turn against you in a bad way. So Andy, be careful. Start delivering accurate news to the people. If you want to copy me, if you want to copy what I'm doing, if you want to copy my technique, go right ahead. Just start delivering truth to the people. And people will start loving you again.
Exactly what happened to Lebanon in 1980.
And Miss Arima, no blocking in here.
Syria, Israel and the US's interest. A small nation becomes the battlefield of China. So yes, the headline says US-Venezuela tension, but the real economic body bag could be carried out by Trinidad and Tobago. A country that did nothing wrong, a country that simply wanted to sell gas.
No, Trinidad did a lot wrong. Because you elected a leader who has no diplomacy, who thinks she's like a mini Trump, right? When Trump was on the campaign trail, this is the nonsense. Like, he had this bravado, this toughness about him, right? This stupidity. Kamla Prasad is almost like she's trying to copy that now, and it's failing miserably for her. Because now no one wants to deal with Trinidad. Listen to the video. Listen to this video. After all of this is said and done, businesses will start packing up. And what's going to happen to the country? Right now, since the UNC came into power, we have, what, around 60,000 lost jobs? That's including the stuff with Nutrien. What do you guys think unemployed people do for money? If you're unemployed, what would you do? What would you be thinking of doing for money? Right? So this is why I tell you guys all the time, the only way to solve crime is to improve the economic conditions for citizens, for everyone. Once you start doing that, crime goes away. Then you can start having police in the streets without guns and walking around with batons and stuff like that. Because everyone has a job. Everyone has a way to take care of themselves. No one wants to turn to crime. No one is born a criminal. People turn to crime when their economic, their means of providing for their family, for themselves, are not there. And what is this government doing to provide jobs for the people? We're seeing them doing nothing but destructive. Everything they do is costing us economic opportunity and jobs. So what is that going to do to the country, let's say 6 months from now? 6 months from now, what do you think is going to happen in Trinidad with all these unemployed people running around? How is Christmas going to be for you guys next month? Huh?
The gas is surrounded by warships. The question nobody in the mainstream media is asking is very, very simple. When superpowers fight for oil and gas, what happens to the little countries who are sitting on the top of that energy? Tonight, Trinidad and Tobago is learning the answer the hard way.
That's so sad for you guys. That's so sad for us. Right? And all because they don't like this guy. Because just because this guy doesn't want to bow to the heels of the United States like your government did. You know what? This is why we should not have women and gay people in government. Because they do nothing but capitulate. Don't you guys miss Rowley? Don't you miss that man of a man? That hard man? Oh no, I don't want to do this. We were talking about Camlet today. I want to talk about Camlet today. I had some slides set up for you guys. Let's play this video right here first before I get into that. How you feeling, Trinidad and Tobago? Your prime minister is so incompetent. Right? You listen to me? Your prime minister is so incompetent that she cannot fix crime on her own. She has to have the United States bring warships into her waters to blow up boats to fix crime. That is how incompetent your leader is. Instead of providing employment to citizens to go fight crime, let's say, for example. So let's say Trinidad is missing a border patrol. We have weak borders. So why not create jobs where Trinis can go out there and patrol our borders? Huh? Why not better the economic conditions of your citizens while making it safer at the same time by actually creating jobs? Why subjugate yourself and your citizens to the fear of having aircraft carriers right outside their waters? How incompetent can you be as a leader? How sickening are you, Miss Kamala? And then you have the nerve, and this is another thing that upsets me with the media in Trinidad. Everyone, if you're watching this show, if you're listening to me by now, you know this whole stuff with Venezuela has nothing to do with drugs. If Maduro was a drug kingpin, he would be the United States' best friend. You heard me? If Nicolas Maduro was a drug kingpin, he would be a best friend of the United States, like this Nabo guy in Ecuador. Huh? Don't sue me. So you have your prime minister, your chief of police, saying all supporting this nonsense that the United States has ships in our water to combat drugs, and they keep pushing this narrative onto you, and you guys keep sucking it up and keep repeating it when you know it's not true. If you listen to the show, you know that shit is not true. You know the United States is the reason why they're doing all of this shit is to overthrow the government of Nicolas Maduro, or to put pressure on him. You know this by now, but your media, your government officials, your leader is still pushing this narcotics. Even the opposition, because I heard I wanted to play the I listened to the entire opposition response yesterday, and I want to go through that with you guys. It was actually pretty good. You know, when you're thinking about leadership and guidance or whatever, the response from the opposition was actually very, very, very good. And I want to play that for you guys next. So, what is going on here, Trinidad? The number to call in is 347-791-3311. They say Nicolas Maduro is a big drug kingpin. Why is this not viewing properly? So Nicolas Maduro, all right, he did an interview yesterday. Shit. All right, it's not the sizing is not coming out properly, and I guess the audio is not playing. So Nicolas Maduro, this great narco trafficker, just interdicted 63 tons of cocaine from Colombia. So this video is about they blew up two aircraft coming into Venezuela with drugs, and he's saying those same two aircraft loaded with drugs flew past the United States. So the United States didn't see these drug planes coming in, and they did, and whatever. But Nicolas Maduro and his government found them and killed them. Not killed them, but blew up the planes. From one of the videos that I saw of this interdiction, they actually let the plane land in one of those makeshift airfields. Then they blew up the plane. So this video is what he was talking about. So the government of Colombia recently seized 63 tons of cocaine. This freaking narco trafficker, this dirty, disgusting dictator, this oppressor of his people, right? Just got 60. You know what? Sometimes I wonder, from a governmental perspective, what do you do with all those drugs when you seize them? I mean, 63 tons. You could sell that and make money, right? I don't know, but once again, Nicolas Maduro is not a narco trafficker. He's not a drug dealer. He is the legitimately elected leader of Venezuela, and there's no doubt about that. Stop listening to CIA propaganda. Stop listening to the Western propaganda. All of these lies that they push out to try to destabilize Venezuela. Stop listening to them. It's all bullshit. And you, as Trinidadians, you live like literally a few miles away from this country and know nothing about it. Sometimes looking at you guys, the way you guys talk about Venezuela is almost disgusting to me. What's the next slide I did? Maduro brands Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister a warmonger. But isn't Kamala the one who's saying that no, there's no war, stay calm, everything is alright? Isn't she the one doing that? How does this make you feel? How does seeing all of this, how does seeing a responsible leader like Maduro say this about your leader, how does this make you feel? And I don't know if I should say what I'm about to say next, but this video is going around social media and it's painting Kamala like she's so well loved by these children. The children are excited to see their prime minister, yes, but look at how Kamala responds to these black kids. I want you to look at her body language. Look at how she holds her hands. You know, she does the fist bump thing with the kids. Tell me, after you watch this, after I said what I just said, you don't feel dirty inside after watching this? When a politician, she just couldn't get out of there fast enough. When a politician goes to greet children, they don't give them fist bumps. Fist bumps are made for people you can't stand. And when you look at Kamala in that video just now, it almost feels like her skin is crawling to be around them black children. Am I wrong? Delcy brother said that KPP is garbage and that she's a rat. Yes, she is. I am actually, with everything that has happened in this country over the past 6 months, I am totally convinced that the United States had a hand to play in getting Kamala elected. There was some CIA involvement to get Kamala elected. This like everything that is happening to the country right now is not. It can't be people are this stupid. Even Big Mouth Philip Alexander, who's supposed to know better, is going along with his bullshit. What is going on in Trinidad? Why are you guys still on social media? Look at that. Why are you guys still on social media talking about you have $1 off in gas and things are so much better now? Welcome to the Slimy Show. The number to call in is 347-791-3311. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, on YouTube, on the Workers' Right 868 platform, on YouTube at The Slimy Show, on Twitter at Penny Mafia, on Twitch, and also on the website. Yeah, we have a website, and like I told you guys in prior videos, we intend to turn this website into a powerhouse for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We intend to bring other streamers on board this platform, and we're going to turn this into like a media powerhouse where we deliver nothing but truth to the people. So stay tuned. The website is www.workersright868.com. Welcome, Val. How you doing? You're late. I'm already high. I smoke my cheap weed because the weed here in Brooklyn is not expensive like you guys. So I'm here just chilling, relaxing, enjoying the reggae music in the background, you know. But how do you guys feel in Trinidad now that your weed is so much more expensive? Huh? Welcome to the Slimy Show, people. How you guys feeling today? Yes, and what is happening? And also, what's happening, Miss Arima, is countries that were fighting with each other before this are now united because of your prime minister. So you're going to see great benefits for all of Latin America, but Trinidad gets fucked because we were the sellouts. We were the ones that opened our legs for the United States to come in. And I have a question. What did that ship drop off in Trinidad when they were here? Because I saw this video with a whole bunch of let me bring that up for you. Hang on a second. There was this video floating around YouTube with a whole bunch of military transports going where is it? So what did this warship drop off in Trinidad? Anybody knows? If in the military and you're upset about what's happening and you feel like giving me a tip, we have a confidential tip line. It's at www.workersright868.com/tips. Anybody from the regiment, please go to their website, and I want to see, I would like to tell to the people, what instructions were you given on Friday? What did they tell you on Friday? Why isn't anybody from the regiment or whatever reporting this? So if you want to give me an insider tip, go to the website workersright868.com/tips and send me a confidential note. And whatever you tell me, once I verify that it's true, I will relay it to the people. You like that? All right. So let me look for this video with this military transport stuff. There it is. Tell me how you feel about this, Trinidad. Anybody know what this street is? All this military equipment. What is this? This looks like a gas tank. This looks like a fuel truck. Oh, and before it looked like some kind of bulldozer. This here looks like some kind of bulldozer. Or like a tractor trailer, something like that. This is a fuel tank. That like Humvees, like ATVs, like off-road carriers. But this, what is in this box, Trinidad and Tobago? And why is this on our soil? What's in this box? You got police escort and everything. These tractor trailers. What's inside of them? Huh? And ladies and gentlemen, Kamla Prasad Besesa says to stay calm. All of this, you know what? I know what this is. This is what this is, ladies and gentlemen. This is stuff to build schools. That's what it is. All of these tractors you see driving now in the streets of Trinidad, they're here to help us build schools. Come on. Sorry for doubting you, Kamala. You did tell us that. You did tell us the reason why the military is in Trinidad is to help us build schools. So this right here is all construction material, right, Kamala? This big tractor trailer, all these boxes. This is all construction material, right, Kamala? We're gonna build back better in Trinidad and Tobago, right, Kamala? How you guys feeling about military transports in your country? And I wanna show you guys this. This is gonna be my last presentation for the night. There was an opposition meeting yesterday, and I wanna Penny actually did a very good presentation. I wanna highlight her, because Penny had some. It seemed like Penny got some belly. And she's actually, I've never seen Penny Beckles. Come on, transit. So this is going to be my last presentation for the night. Miss Penny Beckles. And the opposition conference that they had yesterday. And actually the explanation that Penny gave for meeting with the Venezuelan ambassador was a little better than mine. But I pretty much said the same shit.
Said, I think they are making a huge mistake by taking the sides of our narco government and of the courtesy call took place. So I hope that of October.
Yeah, this is going to be the last presentation in this video. I'm going to play out this video and we'll just talk about it. We'll end after Amy Brown because big up to Amy Brown. Amy Brown is a Slimy Show viewer because at least 4 of the topics that I talked about in this show, Mr. Amy Brown actually repeated. So big up to Amy. I love you, brother. QRC strong. Love you.
Yes.
Oh, and I heard Amy, I think someone was telling me today that Amy actually went to school with me. He was in my year group, but for some reason I don't remember him.
Island, and to indicate that it goes through the same.
Anybody know what year Amy Brown graduated from QRC? I graduated in '89. So if Amy Brown graduated in around that time, he was like in my peer group. Very impressive the job that he's doing. I must say he's making Trinity's proud.
Procedure: you get a letter from the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, also from the Republic of India High Commissioner. I saw him as well. Also from the State of Palestine, from Cuba, and the other request that I have is from Japan. And
so what she's basically trying to explain, I don't
national sovereignty
is that if the United States has to take it to the police, it clear on each and every occasion that you have a very good relationship with the people of Venezuela, but then you come to say Penny back in narco government and slams CARICOM stance on Venezuela. All of it.
Anytime you hear somebody describe the government of Venezuela as narco, please correct them. Please. Because that whole narco government, that whole narco terrorist thing, I explained to you guys in the previous video, it is made to dehumanize or to paint Nicolas Maduro in something other than the light that he is the leader of Venezuela. So if you paint him as a narco terrorist, it becomes easier to go into that country to overthrow him, because you're going into the country to overthrow a criminal, not an elected leader, right? So you're seeing your government, your elected government, actually pushing the same bullshit.
Is calculated to create mischief, to cause a distraction.
This government, these people in charge are so fucking evil right now. Like they came into power supporting regime change in Venezuela. Everybody know it's regime change. You as a Slimy Show viewer know it's regime change. They know it's regime change because they're not stupid, unless maybe Roger Alexander might think this is for drugs. Roger Alexander is the only pure dunce in the UNC. Everybody else smarter and know what is going on. They know what is happening. So you have this government in power supporting regime change.
Budget that is fake and fraudulent, and now that the people of Trinidad and Tobago, over the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, through the Finance Committee, has realized all these several taxes that this government has put in place. So those who originally said it was a good budget, when the Finance Committee takes place and you see that there are no allocations for so many different things, the people of Trinidad and Tobago are very much awake. Related to this matter, of course, is also the fact that the Honorable Prime Minister again, and whilst we put out a press release, I'm using this opportunity because I did not do a press conference on this matter, PNM protecting drug mafia. This is a headline from the Newsday. And
This is the headline.
the Honorable Prime Minister indicated that it is most concerning that the
don't get
PNM,
vexed.
a party long suspected of being financed by local drug mafia, is overtly attempting to undermine efforts to stop drug, arms, and human trafficking into our country. Let me make it abundantly clear that if the Prime Minister has evidence that the People's National Movement is in any way involved in any sign
I
of
have
drug
never
or
seen
mafia,
Penny
then the Prime Minister knows
this
to take it to the police.
this activated before. Isn't this
This
impressive? Is
is a
this
very
a strong
serious
black woman
allegation,
you're looking at right
and
now?
the Prime Minister should withdraw that allegation and apologize.
Penny Vex.
Because the time has come for this use of inflammatory language consistently whenever you're under pressure, when you are clueless about governance, you want to put the blame on the People's National Movement.
That is all this government, that is all this, everyone in government right now, that is all they do. Whenever something goes wrong, they always say, oh, the PNM is the past 9 years. It's like none of them accept responsibility for anything. It's like almost like children, like kindergarten children watching this UNC government interact with us on the world stage,
And
on
that
the
needs to stop. It is no
country
different
stage.
to kill them violently and dealing with a very sensitive situation as it relates to Venezuela in a most undiplomatic manner that has caused the people of Venezuela, caused the people in the region. I mean, Trinidad and Tobago is
The whole
being
entire
discussed
region, just
everywhere.
like Miss
I'm sure-
Arima said. Just like Miss Arima said, she Kamala Persad-Bissessar has united the entire Latin America. I know another country just joined the fray yesterday. God, I forgot the name of this country. Bolivia. Bolivia jumped in. So Colombia and Brazil for the past few years were at war. There were tensions between these two countries. Now, because of your leader, they are now united. So you have the entire Latin America, you have the entire CARICOM, you have Mexico, you have Russia, you have Iran, you have China, and you got now big dog Kim Jong-un from North Korea, where he steps in and says, listen, if you keep arming South Korea, I'm going to put some nukes in Venezuela. So Kim Jong-un just became the wild card in this whole situation. And I think that's kind of why you see Trump backing down now. Because just announced this today, Russia announced that they will send their Oreshnik hypersonic missile over to Venezuela. Things are getting fun, guys. Things are getting real fun. So now Russia has the ability to actually strike the land of America, of their enemies. From Venezuela, Russia can strike U.S. Soil. They've been itching for that battle for the longest while. Right now, Venezuela has the ability to sink each and every one of those battleships in our waters. Trust me. Venezuela right now has the ability to sink each and every ship that is outside of its waters right now. They are itching for this battle. If Trump attacks Venezuela, it will be bad. It will be bad. So if Trump attacks within Venezuelan soil, that gives Venezuela the right legally to do the same damage upon America, right? So what is the easiest target that Venezuela can sink? Now that they have anti-ship missiles both from Russia and Iran, BRICS standing strong and tall, baby. The entire fucking BRICS is backing Venezuela. right? Because now they signed this military and strategic agreement with Russia a few days ago. Trump don't want the smoke. He doesn't want the smoke. Then Trump had a meeting with China, what was it, like 4 days ago? And in the meeting, instead of Trump being like, with the whole, when political leaders meet, like the battles between these leaders is so intense. Like something as simple as a handshake between two leaders gets choreographed to such a point that let's say Trump is going to meet the leader of China. He is trained to like do certain things, to like greet him a certain way, don't bow, whatever, past a certain degree or whatever they're trained. Trump seemed so weak and humiliated when he sat before Xi Jinping. It was like Xi Jinping is the big dog in the room. And right after that meeting with China, Trump's whole stance on Venezuela just changed. Before he was saying, the next step is we're going to be doing attacks within Venezuela soil. But then Friday when they questioned him, he was like, nah, I don't feel like doing that no more. Now instead he wants to bomb Mexico. And Mexico, by the way, is united with that entire Latin America corridor that I told you. So even if Trump skips Venezuela and goes to Mexico, it's going to be the same freaking result. The destruction of the United States. This is going to be, if Trump gets into a war with Venezuela, it will be the end of the United States. So it will be another Vietnam. And let me tell you guys what will happen in Venezuela if Maduro is killed or overthrown. The Chavistas, which is 60% of that country, the Chavistas, which are armed with AK-47, will go about and have themselves a field day on the opposition. Because I don't maybe you guys might notice, but Maria Corina Machado came out a couple of weeks ago and said that once Nicolas Maduro is overthrown, all of his supporters have to be killed. She didn't say it in those exact words. She used diplomatic speak, but basically what she said is some of his supporters have to be killed. She said that, the Nobel Peace Prize winner. So if Nicolas Maduro is killed, you're going to see what I think is if let's say like he does a decapitation strike, Trump tries to launch a missile, because that's all America can do. That is all they can do. They cannot put troops on Venezuelan soil. 16,000 troops may be enough to try to take Caracas, but it is not enough to overthrow a country. All Trump can really do is lob missiles at Venezuela. Someone's at my door. Let me go answer that. But in the meanwhile, let me play this video for you guys. I'll be right back.
You're looking at Miami Herald. You're looking at CNN. BBC is here. Al Jazeera is here. And everybody wants to know what really is going on. So my colleague, the Honorable Marvin Gonzalez, will discuss a little more as to how we got to that stage of panic buying, our literal gridlock last Friday in Port of Spain, where people in Trinidad and Tobago were trying to figure out what is going on. And people were trying to get to their homes. Schools were sending children home. And the Honorable Prime Minister says, be calm. She's not aware of anything. She's not aware of what's happening down in the army, that there was an official order put in place as it relates to people returning, those who, whether you were on leave, you're on vacation, and similar, a notice going out from the police. But that didn't stop there. This has continued, and what is very interesting is that if the United States has made it very clear that, I mean, they are dealing with people who into drug trafficking, narco traffickers, and you in the public domain all over the world, they are seeing these types of headlines as it relates to the opposition. What really is the intention of the government? Absolutely no good intention. And if it is, they would ensure that people are paid on time, people get their salaries on time. All of it is a distraction for their incompetence. Because I'm sure many of you are aware of people who have reached into the bank in the line, or you've taken your card and you go to the ATM machine. Because when you look, with technology, you can go online and you see that you supposedly think you have been paid. Until you get to the bank and they say yes, whilst it may be showing that you have been paid, you can't access any cash. That is the level of incompetence of this government. And therefore creating all this sort of distraction and want to put all the blame on the People's National Movement. I just want to tell them we will have none of it. The last matter I want to deal with before I hand over to my colleague is on the Guardian today. Antigua Prime Minister warns Trinidad and Tobago may be in breach of the Treaty of Chaguaramas with duty hike. And if I just could be allowed 2 minutes, or less. The Honorable Prime Minister of Antigua makes reference to the fact that in speaking about these taxes, he has indicated that TNT would not want to see its status as the supermarket of the region eroded, especially if tariff increases hurt it more than other territories in the region. The Prime Minister of Antigua says that I just hope, well, while higher duties to protect health are understandable, based on certain statements from my dear friend Kamala, I'm reading, I just hope she understands that if we are part of the same community, there's a need to strengthen integration, not fracture it, especially given the current geopolitical landscape and certain situations in the Southern Caribbean that can destabilize the region. I am of the firm view that this is a very important matter, similar to the Venezuela situation, because this is the CARICOM region. This is not Trinidad and Tobago alone. And we understand that when you look at the balance of trade, we know it's Guyana. It is over 4 billion. We know it's Jamaica, over 3 billion. We know Barbados. We know Grenada. And we understand the significance of trading with our CARICOM partners. It is very easy for the Honorable Prime Minister to say that you're going to look for markets elsewhere. But when we think about the vessel USS Ford coming into the region, and you so many people...
Yeah, listen, man. I missed what Penny was saying before, but don't be scared of the US Ford. The USS Ford is a freaking rust bucket that Venezuela is going to sink. Don't be scared of the US Ford. Venezuela has you protected, ladies and gentlemen. Let them come. Let them come. Daddy Maduro got something for you, that Venezuelan fire. Bring it, baby. Trump don't want that smoke.
Have this feeling that something is likely to take place in our region.
Nothing's going to happen.
Do you really think that people are going to come and invest here at this time? And do you think
nothing? But this is the shit, Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing is going to happen. No bombs are going to be launched, but Trinidad is still going to be fucked at the end of this, because at the end of this, when everything is said and done, and the skirt is blown up, Trinidad is going to be the one that's exposed. left exposed, because while everyone united, you know, they're saying united we stand, divided we fall. Trinidad divided from CARICOM. Trinidad decided to take itself away from the unity and the safety of the group. Now we're fucked. So who would want to come deal with us now, with this government in charge? And I want you to tell me what is going to happen. Thank you, Val. Oh, you got me on X? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're also streaming on X for the first time. We're the first Caribbean stream on Twitter. Big us up. So let's continue with Penny.
It is in our interest as a country to put ourselves in a position where Prime Minister of another country.
Ladies, is this a weak woman standing before you, delivering this speech with vigor and strength? Is this a weak woman? I don't want to talk shit about her with her short hair and stuff. You know, let's not go there. But ladies and gentlemen, is this a weak woman or someone of strength? Does this look like a weak belly Penny who is getting before the camera and speaking?
Warning you and telling you that
Penny, if you listen to this video, I want to have you on this platform. So please, I send people to reach out to you. I need you, Penny, on this platform, on the Slimy Show. You will be my first politician interview on here.
Integration and not fracture.
Spread the word, ladies and gentlemen. The Slimy Show is making a call out to this politician, and I promise you, the interview that I give to Penny will be unlike anything you've ever seen from any politician. Amy Brown, my brother.
Thank you very much, Madam Leader.
I heard I went to school with this guy, but I don't remember him.
I also acknowledge the presence of the Opposition Chief Whip, Member of Parliament, the Honorable.
And I want you to pay attention to everything fucking Amy Brown says, because at least 4 items that he gave in his speech was actually said on the Slimy Show before. I feel so proud of myself.
Marvin Gonzalez. I want to endorse the sentiments expressed by the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson this morning and join in condemning the Prime Minister of this country, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, for misleading the people of Trinidad and Tobago and gaslighting the people of this nation and those right across.
Don't you guys miss responsible governance?
To her positions.
Don't you guys miss diplomacy in Trinidad?
Security.
Instead of the wajang behavior and the dotishness and the stupidity and the idiocy. Is that a word? I'm feeling like Lennox right now. I actually, you know what? I could actually say a word like idiocity and get away with it with this chat. Don't you miss that? Don't you miss this shit?
I want to draw to the attention of the public an official statement by the United Nations published on their website on October 31st, 2025. Under the hand of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, experienced diplomat Mr. Volker Turk. The caption of this United Nations statement is this: U.S. strikes in Caribbean and the Pacific breach international law,
yes, it does,
says UN Human Rights Chief. And just one statement, the caption statement. Airstrikes carried out by the United States against alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean and Pacific drew sharp criticism from the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, who said, and this is the important phrase, they violate international human rights law and must stop immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, this represents the first time in our records that a Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago would have.
I'm trying to download the applause sound effect in the background. It's actually killing the stream. I gotta have a talk to Optimum with this internet speed.
With violation of international human rights, of the UN Charter and international law. With respect to the foreign policy of Trinidad and Tobago, she has farmed out our foreign policy to foreign shores and put this nation in a position that is unsustainable and untenable. Everyone in this country knows that we exist just 7 miles from the shores of Venezuela. That is permanent. That is not going to change in 3 years or 5 years or even 100 years. Everyone also knows that we exist within a CARICOM context. We live in the Caribbean Sea with our neighbors. That's not going to change in 3 years or 5 years or in the long term. So the Prime Minister of this nation is human and finite. At some point, she will no longer be the Prime Minister. That's a fact. The current President of the United States of America also has a limit in terms of his term. At some point, he will no longer be the President of the United States of America. The President of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, also is a human with a limit. So
no, Nicolas Maduro is going to live forever.
In the future,
Shut up.
He will no longer be
Shut
the
up.
President of Venezuela.
Shut up.
What will not change
Shut up.
is our obligation
Shut up.
and requirement and responsibility.
Nicolas Maduro will live forever.
To manage our neighborly and regional relations with prudence and wisdom and sustainability.
This was an amazing
And on
speech
this regard,
by
in
this guy.
regard, the Prime Minister and his government have failed the people of this land. And by extension, we have failed, she has failed the people of CARICOM. I listened closely to the leader of the opposition in...
Oh, the Prime Minister of Antigua said that your leader, Kamla Nusari, is violating some agreement they had in CARICOM by doing these the tariffs on the alcohol. I'll pull it's just from memory, but I'll pull that story up for you next. So that's more bad shit that's happening in Trinidad, right? When are you guys gonna start speaking up?
Having to defend.
And this whole thing with the 100% increase on import tariffs, what the idea behind it is they're trying to protect the local alcohol producers and from the outside market or something like that, from what I understand from the story that I read. But after this speech, if I have the strength, if I have the energy, if you guys want, I'll pull that story up next. So you guys don't really have to call in. I mean, if you want to, that's fine. The number is 347-791-3311. If you want to call and contribute, totally fine. If not, just sit back and listen and let's just talk about the news while we smoke some weed. Who out there, by a show of hands, can afford weed right now?
An official meeting.
If you're a weed smoker and you're vexed with Kamla Persad, ow, I keep biting my cheek, and you're vexed with Kamla, say aye.
Here at the leader of the opposition's office with the ambassador of Venezuela, all caused by the inflammatory rhetoric of Kamla Persad Bissessar, when in fact, as has been presented, it was official correspondence from the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs that established that particular meeting. in the course of the routine business of engagement between the diplomatic corps and stakeholders in Trinidad and Tobago. The hypocrisy of those statements from the Prime Minister needs to be underscored further. Because just a few days ago, her Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs was celebrating.
He used to be the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs before. That was his job before.
Alvaro, his good friend. You go onto the website and the media releases of the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs. This same ambassador is celebrated because they were running this dual narrative of one, we want regime change, but at the same time we are good friends with the Venezuelan people.
Wow, he said regime change. He finally mentioned it. Very good. Very good.
Cordero shaking hands, being photographed. The first photo on many of the pages of the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs at various diplomatic engagements is somehow between the minister and the ambassador of Venezuela. All of a sudden, when she is deemed to be persona non grata, as the song goes.
That's the first mention of me, because I was the only one who was playing that song. Remember, persona non grata? That was me. So this guy is listening to my shit. Why am I blanking on his name right now? Yo, that is why you don't smoke weed before you do a live.
Such interactions become unpatriotic. I want to condemn that hypocrisy.
Big up to this politician. What is his freaking name? Why am I forgetting his name?
And then if these are narco-terrorists, and this is a representative of a narco-terrorist, why is the government sending official correspondence on their behalf? And how does the Prime Minister reconcile that view and the rhetoric with the fact that the ambassador of Venezuela in Port of Spain currently serves as the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps in Trinidad and Tobago, with specific obligations and responsibilities in Port of Spain as the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps? How does she reconcile all of these things? And to accuse the opposition and all of those who have taken the course of peace, to accuse them of having a narcotics agenda is shocking and reprehensible,
and embarrassing,
coming from a head of government, particularly one who may not be unfamiliar with the finding of a green plant-like substance.
Oh, Val, this is since you mentioned Iran and Israel, ding ding ding. So he may still attack Venezuela. Remember what he did with Iran and Israel. Here's where the fucking genius of Donald Trump comes in, right? Donald Trump doesn't want shit to inflame in the Middle East, right? Because he made this announcement a couple of months ago that he launched all these bombs against Iran, and Iran is destroyed, and we destroyed the nuclear facilities. We won. We're out of here. So what Trump immediately did is he pulled out all of his warships from the freaking Middle East and now parked them in our waters, right? So now Israel is gearing up to go attack Iran, and Israel is going to want to try to pull the United States into this conflict with Iran. Trump is against that. So when Israel, and if you're on Twitter, you would see this news. It's like known, Israel is planning to attack Iran. They're planning it right now. And what Trump did is he pulled. Yeah, it is Amy Brown. Thank you. He pulled his the aircraft carrier and the warships out of the Middle East. Now they're parked in our waters. So now when Israel does the stuff, he can simply say, "Hey, I don't have no assets in the area. I'm sorry, I can't help you." I think that is the chess move that Trump is doing. He's trying to avoid a bigger, greater conflict in the Middle East by coming and stirring up the hornet's nest over here in Latin America. And actually, what he's doing, believe it or not, it might sound fucking horrible, but Trump is actually making Latin America stronger. He is uniting the whole of Latin America. Even within Venezuela, he's uniting most of the Venezuelans, except that 15%, because none of those Venezuelans want the gringos in their land. So now everybody is all patriotic and ready to defend their country. The same thing now that Colombia joined the fray, because if Venezuela gets destabilized, Colombia is next, and Nicaragua, and all of the entire Latin America. So Latin America is doing the right thing by coming together. Countries that were fighting with each other are now coming together. The only odd man out is your asshole prime minister. Anyway, Amy Brung, yes, that's his name. Thank you, Black Leo. Why? It's like I'll be on a total roll for a speech, then I'll totally forget what I'm saying.
South Trinidad, who might be familiar with a video that everyone in this country has seen of a sitting government minister preparing and smoking drugs with what seem to be Venezuelan individuals.
I send you guys that video. It's on this video he's talking about right now is actually on the Workers' Right platform, where he's talking about a certain politician smoking a certain funny substance. Anybody in the chat know the name of this politician? Yes, actually CARICOM was always united. CARICOM never had any freaking problems. She is the one that actually came into CARICOM and started her fuckery. But CARICOM was always united. We never really had any problems with CARICOM.
Government of Trinidad and Tobago. But we have to
But now we are out
media reports
almost
where
of
the Prime
CARICOM.
Minister is somehow trying to associate
With the odd man out.
those who are calling for peace with a narcotics agenda. That is what we refer to as gaslighting and deliberate misleading of the people of Trinidad
Kamala to
and
go to
Tobago.
MAGA hat.
I want to draw
MAGA would not
for
accept
the
Kamala.
benefit of the Prime
Trust
Minister
me.
and the few social media
I
trolls who
I
seem
am
to
MAGA.
swallow everything she offers. On the 25th of October, there was a very important piece of correspondence generated by
What's up with the video? Let's wait for the computer to ease up. What happened? Are you guys seeing me? Am I still here? Am I still live? The video just froze up on me. Did my internet go out? That works. Alright, so what's up with this video?
one who may not be unfamiliar with the finding of a green plant-like substance in South Trinidad, who might be familiar with a video that everyone in this country has seen of a sitting government minister preparing and smoking drugs with what seem to be Venezuelan individuals several years ago, back in the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
How embarrassing for you, Trinidad and Tobago.
Media reports where the Prime Minister is somehow trying to associate those who are calling for peace with a narcotics agenda. That is what we refer to as gaslighting and deliberate misleading of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to draw a reference for the benefit of the Prime Minister and the few social media trolls who
Pay attention
seem
to this part.
swallow everything she offers. On the 25th of October, there was a very important piece of correspondence generated by...
Why is the video freezing up at this point? Come on.
And the potential implications this poses for the socioeconomic, political, and human. Important piece of correspondence generated by the Antilles Episcopal Conference under the signature of Port of Spain, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, having regional responsibility, the voice of this important faith-based group. I just want to read a few lines from this letter which went across across the region. The bishops of the Antilles Episcopal Conference view with grave concern the recent buildup of naval and other military assets in the Southern Caribbean. This is not the People's National Movement. And the potential implications this poses for the socioeconomic, political, and humanitarian well-being of our region and its people. In a few weeks, the world will commemorate the 59th World Day of Peace. I go on. The letter says, we must speak clearly to the moral challenges facing our region. You're hearing the voice of truth. The narcotics trade continues to devastate Caribbean societies, eroding lives, futures, and the moral fabric of communities. This is a grave crisis for the church and families everywhere, one we are duty-bound to confront. Yet, the arbitrary and unwarranted taking of life cannot be justified as a means of resolution. Such acts violate the sacredness of human life. Likewise, the disregard for the sovereignty of independent nations cannot be accepted as a reasonable measure in the name of border security.
You sound like you're praying.
Or the threat
Amen.
of war is never the right solution. It goes on and on.
Don't you miss members like this in your government?
Statement. Together, we place our hope, trust, and prayers in the pursuit of what? A peaceful and just resolution that upholds human dignity, national sovereignty, and the common good of all. I want to commend this piece of correspondence. This letter contains more wisdom and truth than everything the government of Trinidad and Tobago and our Prime Minister has said on this U.S.-Venezuela issue.
Ouch.
Truth transcends individual religions, and this appeal going out from the Antilles Episcopal Conference represents the voice of truth. In stark contrast to our Prime Minister, who is seeking to paint with the broadest political brush everyone who questions her actions and her irresponsible rhetoric, everyone who calls for the peaceful conduct of our regional relations in keeping with international law, everyone who refers her to the UN Charter, she's trying to paint them as narco traffickers and supporters of narco-terrorism. And then to bring the point home further, on the 1st of November, the Archbishop of Port of Spain took this plea for peace
They finally
and
speaking
voice
out.
of truth even further in a pastoral letter entitled
At least they get the 10%, right?
I will give you one
Allegedly.
line from that particular piece of correspondence.
I hear they get the
Archbishop
10%.
of Port of Spain. And that's this. The church must act according to conscience, guided not by political expediency, but by the gospel of peace. We must resist any logic that normalizes conflict or weaponizes fear. The Christian response is not to mirror aggression, but to cultivate reconciliation wherever we are. And I make the point, truth transcends individual religions, and truth resonates in the hearts of people, notwithstanding whatever label they may ascribe to their choice of faith. So is the Prime Minister accusing the clear voices of our faith-based community in this region and in this country who are condemning
Kamala don't know what she's doing, man.
and the warmongering and the regime change agenda?
Kamala is inflaming the religious people of Trinidad and Tobago. She is doing it. What is up with these statues, these idols that they have parading around, driving around in the trucks? It's almost like they're doing stuff to piss off the black people, stopping our Independence Day. Now we have a SOE that going right up until Carnival. Like, she's doing stuff to inflame the people. What is really happening? I want you to ask yourself this. What is she really trying to do? Why is she doing openly and instituting openly racist policies towards the blacks? What is the purpose behind that?
Supportive of narco terrorism. I invite her to further clarify. The other point I wish to make, which many in our society have already come to the conclusion, that this government does not have its own independent foreign policy, but is operating as mimics
as
of
cocks.
Another agenda coming from outside of the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. And
We are
once
cocked
again,
to the USA.
this is unprecedented. This has never happened. These circumstances have never befallen the people of Trinidad.
This is why I keep telling you the United States / CIA put Kamla Persad-Bissessar in power. It started with the elimination of Lisa Morris Julian. And everything these people did since that point, since the death of Lisa Morris Julian has been freaking evil. Go back and start. You know what? I did a series on that. Go back and look at it. You are currently being ruled by evil.
Trinidad and Tobago before. So public support and cheerleading for extrajudicial killings and the violation of international law.
I hope you pay for that.
No prime minister in this country has ever done that, except Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And that stain will remain with her throughout her remaining term in office.
Forever.
It will remain with her. Threats of the use of force. One government minister was heard to be threatening nuclear war against a neighboring state. Unprecedented, mimicking another type of narrative where might is right. Raids are similar in nature. I've heard the persons asking.
This is a speech I would write.
On some of these raids,
Emery is very
immigration
smart.
approach now, somehow reflective of the ICE raids that have traumatized some of our Caribbean people and nationals of Trinidad and Tobago residing abroad and overseas. It seems to be a mimic approach as opposed to something sovereign and authentic and representing the voice of Trinidad and Tobago. I wouldn't draw reference to their COVID rhetoric, which was also mimicking. But just to make the point that when you paint with a broad brush and you ascribe a drug label to all who are calling for peace, that reflects in some way the response to persons who have been calling, like us, who have been calling for peace and an end to the genocide in Gaza.
Boom!
Where the reaction in some quarters has been to paint.
None. There's been no reaction from the Trinidad and Tobago government. Amory Brown is the only freaking person in the Trinidad government ever within the past 2 years that has even mentioned fucking Gaza. He went to the United Nations last year and made I must say this, Emery, you gave a weak speech before the UN. It wasn't powerful, and you just like eased up the topic of Gaza. You wasn't strong, but thank you very much for mentioning it. And this man is the only one so far I've heard speaking about Gaza. Your current government has sided with the genociders, has sided with the baby killers. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who love you so much, who love you more than herself, sided with the baby killers. Not one member in her government ever since they took power in the past 6 months has ever mentioned Gaza and what's happening in Gaza. And who is causing Gaza. And why are they... Woo! He's going to get me vexed with this.
Anti-Semitism. As well,
Big up, Emery.
We saw recently a very interesting congratulations going out to the new government of Bolivia. Not on the letterhead of the office of the Prime Minister.
Bolivia is now on the side of Venezuela.
Of the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, but co-signed on the letterhead of the Secretary of State of the United States of America. Unprecedented times and evidence of the farming out of the foreign policy of Trinidad and Tobago.
Kamala sold you out.
Mimics.
Kamala sold out the country.
Inauthentic.
Is what he's basically trying to say.
Non-representative of the people of this country. And just to remind the media, this is not the first time that Kamala Persad-Bissessar has been accused and found guilty of plagiarism. Exactly 5 years ago, and it's related to foreign affairs, exactly 5 years ago to the month in November 2020, a certain British politician by the name of Mr. Keir Starmer, who is now the head of government of the UK, posted on Facebook congratulations to then President Joe Biden of the United States. It was a famous posting. Congratulations to Joe Biden on his election as president. He ran a campaign on decency, integrity, compassion, and strength. I also want to congratulate Kamala Harris on being elected vice president, the first woman of color to take that role. The victory is one of hope and unity over dishonesty and division. On and on. A few hours later, our Prime Minister, the mimic, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, went on Facebook.
But she was the Prime Minister then.
As leader of the opposition. Congratulations to Joe Biden on his election as President of the United States. He ran a campaign on decency, integrity, and compassion. I also want to congratulate Kamala Harris on being elected Vice President, the first woman and person of color to take that role.
So Kamala's a dunce.
One for hope and unity over dishonesty and division, etc.
So Kamala's a dunce, like her supporters.
Word.
It's nothing but a party of dunces.
Operandi. Inauthentic, unrepresentative of the standards and voice of Trinidad and Tobago, and a mere mimic of talking points and a narrative generated elsewhere. In my final note is that the opposition takes
Pay attention to this.
Of an offer by Caribbean leaders to mediate and offer a pathway to peace in circumstances in which Trinidad and Tobago seems to have put all their chips on a path of warfare. Comments made by the Prime Minister of Dominica.
You see what? This is why your Prime Minister is so stupid now. Now that she has all of these countries uniting against her, and she is the odd man out, it is highly, highly likely that people will be scrambling to the ICC to file charges against her. You know it is being discussed right now among those circles on what can we do to save Trinidad? What can we do to get that country out of this mess? We have to remove this government, is what they are saying, right? But again, even if they remove Kamala, do you guys actually think that she's the one who's actually making all the decisions in this party? Or is there someone above her who's actually telling her to do all this stuff? I have so many questions.
Distinguished Prime Minister of Barbados and others who've joined former Prime
What kind of
Ministers
questions you got?
in transmitting the voice
You want to
of
get into
truth.
politics? I tell you,
That
I'm
war
on
is
camera
not
for
a
you.
solution, especially
Let me
for
know.
a small state like Trinidad and Tobago, and drawing a stark contrast between a massive military armada, the
I have
largest
to go get more.
in the
But
recent
you want to go
history
get it-
of the
the
Caribbean region, to these
I'll go
claims
to-
of narco attacks against small vessels traveling within the Caribbean Sea. And finally, Madam Leader of the Opposition, I want to give a clear warning to the Prime Minister of this country.
They are plotting
I want
against
to
her.
refer again to this.
Kamala Prasad Besesa, you have leaders from other countries plotting to get rid of you. And if the ICC is a tool they can use to get rid of you, that is something they will do. And you know this is what they're thinking. Because if I'm thinking it and I'm just a regular guy and these guys are in positions of power, you know this is what's coming. You know it. Because remember the second boat strike that happened? Remember the second boat strike that happened? It actually happened within the borders of Trinidad and Tobago. This was actually widely reported in the news. The president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, sent out a message to Kamala Besesa that she should go and retrieve the murdered bodies out of our water, or she should send out like a search party or something to look for this stuff. What did Kamala Prasad Besesa tell the leader of Colombia? Basically to fuck off. She said that I do not have the time or the resources to go look for corpses, or something along those lines. She said a totally disgusting answer, a totally like something you would not expect the leader of a country to be saying to another leader of another country. How embarrassing. So that right there pissed off Gustavo. And from that post that he actually made on X, there were people when this happened months ago actually calling for her to be charged with war crimes back then.
Case, and it will arise in the future.
Not war crimes,
This
crimes
is a
against
case
humanity,
before
excuse me.
the International Criminal Court. You see,
The ICC.
sometimes heads of government feel they can say and do anything for their support base to clap and cheer, and there will be no consequences in the future. Here's a former leader who is currently facing the most dire consequence. This is the case at the International Criminal Court against Rodrigo
Duterte.
the former
Reported first on the frickin' Slimy Show. Amory Brown is listening to my content. Amory, big up.
head of government, president of the Philippines. I'm referring to the official publication of the International Criminal Court, the prosecutor versus Rodrigo Roa Duterte. I'm reading from the case documents. The former president of the Philippines
How the frick did they lock
has
his
been
ass up?
accused.
Besides all of the murdering that Duterte did, he actually did a pretty good job governing the Philippines. I mean, besides the killing, besides all of that, let me keep my mouth shut, man. I don't want to say what.
He is allegedly responsible for the crimes
How did he get arrested?
against
That was
humanity of
confusing.
murder and attempted murder, allegedly committed on the territory of the Republic of the Philippines between the 1st of November 2011 and 16th of March 2019 in the context of the War on Drugs campaign. The prosecution and the ICC pre-trial chamber assessed the material submitted and found reasonable grounds to believe that Mr. Duterte is individually responsible as an indirect co-perpetrator. I want to repeat that phrase. There has been reasonable grounds to believe that he is individually responsible as an indirect co-perpetrator. He didn't kill those persons extrajudicially himself, but he's accused of being an indirect co-perpetrator for the crime against humanity of murder, and an arrest warrant was issued after he demitted office. And just to say that the United States of America is not one of the state parties to the International Criminal
This
Court.
man is stealing my content.
But guess what?
We are. He's stealing my content.
Is
big up to Amy Brown.
Founders of the ICC, led by the great late A.N.R. Robinson. We remain a state party, and our leaders must be held to a higher standard. Thank you very much.
Great speech. Great speech, Amy Brown. I don't want to listen to Marvin. All right, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you on that. Also, you listen to what he just said, right? Today, your prime minister came out with her big mouth again and put her foot in her mouth again. And it's these little statements that will get you locked up. What was it? The fight on drugs? Let me see if this is the video. There was something she said at the end of one of these videos.
So what can you tell us about this alert that we...
Extremely sensitive matters, and I do not think it is for me to be at liberty to share very serious national security plans. If there is any cause for concern for Trinidad and Tobago, I will share it with you. Prime Minister, we will share it with you. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that word getting wet?
Yeah, yes,
always. Faith in the Almighty, and they'll be fine.
Public be doing in that event?
The public should be going about their business. To be at liberty to share very serious national security plans.
Where is it?
It's appropriate to share whatever a
War, for lack of a better.
teaching in all seriousness and with greatest of respect. I don't think it's appropriate to share what is very badly hit. So people want to help there. It also sends some help to Cuba.
She said some stupid shit. I don't think this is the video. I don't think this is the video. She said some stupid shit when they asked her about panicking citizens and this whole war on drugs or some shit. She actually said we are not, or we are attacking the drug dealers and the smugglers and the whatever. Oh God, I wish I could find the video. Let me see if I have it.
But Cuba has been very badly hit.
I think it was the interview she did today. Oh, this is something I want to talk about too. There's so many topics to talk about. San Fernando Mayor Robert Parris has confirmed that street vending on High Street will not be permitted this Christmas, ending a long-standing holiday tradition in the city center. So if you was a vendor, if you was a small business owner, if you had a business and you were a generator of income in San Fernando, now you are no longer allowed to do business down there. When UNC win, this is bad. So I'm asking you guys once again, why is this government doing all of these policies that takes away employment and economic opportunity for the people, instead of providing economic opportunity, she's taking it away, and this is another step right here. Anybody could explain to me why this is happening? What is this government trying to do to the people of Trinidad and Tobago? Where's my goddamn slide? And I want to send this message here out to Nicolas Maduro. I said something similar to you last week, but this lady says it's so much better.
Defense Minister of Venezuela, me can speak Spanish for
I love her accent. This lady, listen to her freaking accent. I just love it.
I want to tell you something. You say we go get a response. Please, it's not TNT revving on all you. It's UNC. Please send your assassinator or assassinators and deal with the party itself. The 35 cabinet ministers, deal with them. Just that 35. Right? Because we Trinidadian didn't threaten Venezuela, right? We don't have no bomb, we have no grenade. We Coast Guard and them, they don't know about that. They could give wood, but they can't give shots.
Yes, the Trinidad Army is only good for doing army fit. The Trinidad Army is not made for fighting. All they do is to throw a fit in December and throw in wood.
Go directly to the UNC, not TNT. Okay, Defense Minister of Venezuela, go straight to Miss Kamala Persad and her 35 ministers. Go straight to them, not TNT. UNC party, not TNT. Okay? Alright. Defense.
Alright, man. That's it for my stories. I'm out of stories. But there was one thing that I wanted to bring up. This the Prime Minister of Guyana was bitching about. Let me switch slides here. This was alright. This here, you guys, is called X, and their AI is called Grok. I think it's the best AI for commercial use so far on the planet. It's pretty good. So and I use Grok to do quite a lot of my research for the slides that I present to you guys. So there was something about this. The Prime Minister of Antigua was saying that Kamla Persad is violating the terms of CARICOM by doing this 100% tariff on alcohol. All right, so as I look for this story, let's go down my Twitter feed. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has accused Prime Minister Kamla Persad of deliberately doing great harm within the region and destroying the historic bonds between the two countries. Correct. New Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado and U.S. collaborator called for an invasion of Venezuela because of Russia, China, and Iran. What is this?
In the region. So, look, we have to understand that now Iranian, Russian, and Chinese have operations in Venezuela, military, intelligence, and technology.
That is true. That is true.
Away from Florida, and a transition to democracy will certainly dismantle this and turn Venezuela into the strongest security ally of the United States and Western democracies in the region.
Do you hear what this demon just said?
We have to.
All right, hold on a second. A client is texting me. You see, instead of doing my job as a technician, I'm here trying to teach you guys about politics. So, let's play this again.
To understand that now Iranian, Russian, and Chinese have operations in Venezuela, military, intelligence, and technology, only 3 hours away from Florida. And a transition to democracy will certainly.
What does she mean by transition to democracy? It means is invasion. And this demon said that after Nicolas Maduro is killed, that she is actually inviting U.S. troops to come onto Venezuelan soil to kill Chavistas. I wonder if I could find that video for you guys. But she didn't say it like that. She said it in a diplomatic way, just like how she's saying to instill democracy in Venezuela. Basically, she's trying to say kill Maduro. That is what she's doing.
To democracy will certainly dismantle this and turn Venezuela into the strongest security ally of the United States and Western democracies in the region.
So it's politicians like this, you got to be aware of that literally go before you and lie. Prime Minister Kamla Persaud-Bissessar has advised TT fishermen to stay within the country's maritime borders amid concern over U.S. missile strikes on boats in the Southern Caribbean in its operation tackling drug trafficking. The TT media is still pushing this narrative that the United States is there for drug trafficking. How do you trust your media after this? What is this? Video. Maduro says he's more famous than Taylor Swift due to U.S. media attention. I love this man. I love Maduro so much. Do you think Russia should send a Resnik to Venezuela? Yes. Oh, Zoran Mandami actually mentioned Trinidad in his victory speech. Let's play that for you guys. Zoran Mandami is now the new mayor of New York City, and he mentioned Trinidadian taxi drivers in his victory speech. Oh, here it is. What is this? A convoy of police vehicles is seen on the Western Main Road, Carenage, this afternoon. Why? But that's an old video.
You need 63 high, coming in on target. You need to move a little faster than that, son. Seat is light. 63 high, coming in on target.
Yeah. This is New York City. People having sex on the subway. I wouldn't show that. Alright, here we go. Zoran Mandami. I actually met him on live, on one of the lives that I did.
Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas. Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses. Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties.
Line cooks? Trinidad is on the global stage, people. President. All right, this is my Twitter feed. Most of the news stories that I get and report to you guys, I get it directly from Twitter. Twitter, I think, is the most honest source of news on the planet. Here it is, right here.
In Venezuela for foreign investment. I am talking about a $1.7 trillion opportunity, not only in oil and gas, which is huge. And
Doesn't she look like a demon?
Because we will open all upstream, middle stream, downstream to all companies, but also in mining, in gold, in infrastructure, power. We have our grid.
Look at this demon.
Has a 17 gigawatt opportunity of energy potential that needs to be rehabbed. Certainly for technology and AI and
who does her makeup?
You know, Venezuela has 2,800 kilometers of pristine Caribbean coastline ready to be developed. So this is going to be huge. We will bring rule of law. We will open markets. We will have security for foreign investment and a transparent, massive privatization program that is waiting for you.
You hear that? Listen to this demon sell her country out.
Not only in all.
When I see people like this, I see people like Andy Williams. Let me show you something right here. America Business Forum. America does not fight wars for law and justice and all this shit that they tell you that we grew up actually believing. You know, like America is the police of the world. You know, when there's right, America fixes the wrong. Right? That's all bullshit. This group of people sitting in this room right here in the America Business Forum, these are the motherfuckers that decide where gets bombed next. So what she is doing, this demon Maria Corina Machado is doing is she's going before these people and selling her country to them. So she's saying, if you come in and put me in charge, meaning if you come in and kill Maduro, if you come in and overthrow Maduro, and you put me as your puppet, Venezuela has all of these resources for you to come in. So these mini demons that are sitting in the chat, they are there like salivating and licking themselves, thinking that, oh, the riches we can get in Venezuela. So they come up with this narrative that you can't do like what we did in Iraq and say Nicolas Maduro has weapons of mass destruction. No, we can't do that. So what is appropriate? What's an appropriate narrative for the Caribbean? Something we've done before. Let's call him a drug dealer. So during Trump's first term, he brought up this I wouldn't say non-existent Cartel of the Suns, but Cartel of the Suns was basically created by the CIA. All of the cartels on the planet right now are ran by the CIA. So in the first Trump presidency, they brought up this Cartel of the Suns ruse, and they tried to indict Maduro in court, and I did a presentation on this yesterday with the looting of Venezuela and how they use Juan Guaido to steal billions and billions of dollars from frickin' Venezuela. It's all a sham. It's all a game. It's all fake. All the wars on the planet are constructed in rooms like this, in the America Business Forum. So what we see happening right here in this room is she's trying to sell a war to these people, and at the end of it, most likely these guys are all bankers in here. And at the end of it, all of these guys just profit. Are you guys understanding all of this? So the post says, we will launch a transparent, large-scale privatization program. CIA asset and Nobel Peace Prize winner who advocates for bombing her own country, Marina Corina Machado, once again begs Washington to put her in power in exchanging for allowing the theft of Venezuela's wealth. This is what this is all about. And the media in Trinidad and Tobago is complicit with this too. When they keep saying that this is a war on drugs, this is the United States war on drugs, and they keep repeating that false narrative instead of saying blatantly regime change, because they think you people are stupid. It's all being complicit. The a law in the Venezuelan Congress that anyone that speaks out against anyone that encourages Venezuelan invasion will lose their Venezuelan citizenship. That's let me play that video for you guys. Jackson Hinkle actually made this presentation a couple days ago, and I watched the video and I'm going to play for you now. Let's go back into my history. What is this shit? You got all this music thing in my history now. And this presentation by Jackson Hinkle, you're gonna fucking love. So I have someone. Jesus Christ. This was a good. Maybe I should just explain about the
one of the
duty
things
hack.
that we've talked about time and time again is making rational
Alright, let's go to. I'll be right back. I'm going to get something to drink.
And we were talking about what could become. Last week, I think we spoke about that. What would become of people like Massey Supermarket, who's a large entity, if Trinidad decides to put on this new tariff, this hike, and how it could affect the Treaty of Chagaramas within CARICOM itself. So these are some of the wars that will be fought within CARICOM, among CARICOM states, when one another start going at each other's throat over different things that they're doing. Of course, I said this is all a setup. And of course, I said this is all a setup because the US is quietly dismantling CARICOM. And now you have Antigua Prime Minister, who's now won in Trinidad and Tobago and has chimed in on this whole matter of the US strikes in the Caribbean and how we have to be very careful about a fight in narco. What has another side to it that we basically are being fooled, really. That's what he's saying. So Antiguan Prime Minister Gaston Brown has warned that while Trinidad and Tobago's recent...
Yeah, I was trying to find a video to explain to you guys about this warning from the Antigua Prime Minister, but I couldn't find it. So let's go with this guy Ernesto instead. Big up to Ernesto.
An increase in import duties on certain CARICOM products may be acceptable for reasons any wider application could violate the Treaty of Chaguaramas. Brong also cautioned that as the supermarket of the Caribbean, TNT could face a boomerang effect if the policy is mishandled. So clearly, he sees what I am seeing. He knows and he's discussing exactly what I've been talking about over the past few weeks, which a lot of people think was nonsense. Speaking yesterday, Brong reminded my dear friend Kamla of the need to strengthen regional integration. But that's falling apart. We are all part of the same community, geography, and history, and we have to preserve those relations, he said. There's a need to strengthen the integration movement, not fracture it. Now, I have been saying from the start, from the get-go, that the US is trying to break up CARICOM with whatever they're doing right now, they're trying to break up CARICOM. That's what I've been saying for a very long time. And I make no bones about that. I think it is happening. And I mean, I don't wish for it to happen, but I think it is happening. And that is a sad state of affairs right now. Really, really sad state of affairs. And I said also, I believe Trinidad will leave CARICOM someday. People said, well, no, Prime Minister said she's sticking with CARICOM, but I said I believe that they would do it sooner rather than later. But anyway, his comments followed TNT's announcements last week that import duties on CARICOM, malt beverages, beer, rum, cigarettes, and tobacco would be increased by 100%. Planning Minister Kennedy Saran Singh said the measure responded to concerns from the local manufacturing sector, which said the previous tariff structure put them at an unfair disadvantage. The minister also cited the health risk associated with these products as justification for that.
This is not the video. There was a better video I saw that actually explained the stuff where Trinidad is trying to impose protection tariffs, where at least that's what they say it is, but it's a way to just gain money, a easy way to gain money. And the video basically said that it will disrupt trade between CARICOM and Trinidad. I can't explain it off the top of my head. So after I play this video with Jackson Hinkle, that'll be my last presentation for the night. And actually, he's pretty good with his presentations. Much better than me. What is all this shit? All this music is not mine. Wagner isn't. Oh, that's another thing. Wagner's in Venezuela, and they're talking about sending the Oreshnik missile over. You know, let me just do a search. Jackson Hinkle. This is it, I think.
A three-star general who worked on the Department of Defense's Joint Staff, Lieutenant General Joe McGee, is retiring from the role after reported friction with the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Joint Chiefs of Staff Chair Dan Kane. McGee objected to Hegseth and Kane on a range of issues, including the Trump administration strikes on alleged drug smuggling boats in the Caribbean. So now you have lieutenant generals worked on the Department of Defensive Joint Staff coming out and saying, I will not take part in these strikes on fishermen from Trinidad and Tobago, from Colombia, from Venezuela. I will not participate in this. This is war pig, warmongering. We are waging a war on behalf of Epstein cartel, on behalf of Goldman Sachs, on behalf of BlackRock, and I will not be part of this. Before the USS Gerald R. Ford landed in the Caribbean, off the coast of Venezuela, there was about 10,000 U.S. troops in Venezuela. About 5,000 troops were doing naval operations on the coast, and about 5,000 troops were in Puerto Rico. Now we have troops in Trinidad and Tobago for a temporary, training exercises. By the way, Trinidad and Tobago is about a 10 to 15 minute, speedboat ride away from the coastline of Venezuela. 10 to 15 minutes. That's how close we're talking here. So you hear this stuff about...
Let me give you a little backstory on Jackson Hinkle. This guy is the leader of the American Communist Party. He actually went over to Venezuela in 2024 as an election observer. So he went and monitored as an international election observer to the elections in Venezuela, and the CIA tried to kill him. Like they tried to go to his hotel or storm his hotel and kill him, but Nicolas Maduro actually sent his boys out and actually protected Jackson, which actually has me, from back then I was impressed with the intelligence network or whatever intelligence services that they have in Venezuela. It's far superior than what they have in the United States.
Amphibious landings. I don't think it'd be a wise place for them to do it, but that is a possibility. They could do it there. They could do it, further southeast in the country. I think that would be probably a more suitable location if they were to do something like that. But 10 to 15 minutes away, okay? After the USS Gerald Ford got there, we now have about 18,000 U.S. troops right off the coast of Venezuela. If the U.S. wanted to do some sort of an invasion of Caracas, at the very least, they would need at least 50,000 troops. The numbers of troops that we have there right now begs the question, what is going on? Decapitation strikes are obviously a very real possibility, but Maduro has a...
I would say that would be what the United States will be trying to do. Yeah, Jackson Hinkle is freaking amazing. He's amazing, and I'm trying to do something in Trinidad like what Jackson is doing in America. I want to start the Trinidad and Tobago Communist Party in Trinidad, model off of him. Amazing freaking fellow.
Bunch of successors in line, and frankly, I don't even think the question of successors would make all that much of a difference, because immediately after decapitation strikes begin, there would be a military government installed and a martial law would be declared. Anyone supporting the strikes would have their citizenship removed, they'd be imprisoned. This would continue until stability came back to the country. Then maybe the successors would have their opportunity to find themselves in a position where elections could be held and a new government could be established. Or maybe we just have a military government forever, one that is objectively far more opposed to the U.S. than Maduro was. No U.S. companies would ever be allowed to operate in Venezuela. Right now, still today, 25% of Venezuela's daily...
This is what your dumb ass, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, does not think about. She does not think about this shit. Your idiot leader and her idiot parliament. It's like none of them pays attention to anything in global politics. I swear to God, I know more about the workings of global politics than the whole of the UNC government.
The oil output, which is 1 million barrels per day,
come at the hands of... Venezuela's oil output is not up to 1 million barrels a day yet. He's actually wrong on that.
In Venezuela... right now, still today, 25% of Venezuela's daily oil output, which is 1 million barrels per day, come at the hands of Chevron. Did you know that? Chevron accounts for 25% of Venezuela's daily oil output, which is forecasted to bring Venezuela a 2 to 3% GDP increase over the next year, defying the predictions previously of the IMF and the World Bank. You have Chevron still operating there. You have the Maduro government, which said when this Chevron license to operate in Venezuela was reestablished by the Trump administration, Venezuela's President Maduro said, I hope we can have Chevron operate in this country, in a fair manner for the next 100 years. It's not the Venezuelan government that is blocking or preventing Chevron or other companies from the U.S. or the West to operate in Venezuela. It's the Trump administration that is blocking companies from operating in Venezuela because the Trump administration has sanctioned Venezuela heavily, now declared them a terrorist state. How does Chevron get around these rules? Well, they donated a hefty amount of money to the Trump campaign, the Trump inaugural event.
This is why you have to spend large sums of money when you are doing these negotiations, because the United States is just fucking corrupt. In order to get anything done, you have to grease the wheels with money. Kamala only came up with 500K. That's why she got the little bullshit 6-month extension that she got. And then when she goes back, she's going to have to pay more money and more money and more money. Instead of her, at the start of her leadership, instead of doing like Chevron and going and renegotiating with Trump, she went and said, what? The Dragon Glass deal is dead. Like an idiot. Trump saw her and said, stupid person. That's why we're in this mess right now, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to the assessment Jackson gives. And after he gives his assessments, I want you to take the information he gives you and put it in your head with all of the other information you have tangling in with Venezuela, and put it into your calculation.
Had a history of having these licenses in Venezuela, and Trump reopened that possibility for them to operate in Venezuela. Chevron is not even paying the Venezuelan government in cash. Chevron is actually paying Venezuela in oil transfers. One has to ask the question, it's like, what is so wrong about this? If the world has not ended with Chevron providing 25% of Venezuela's oil output over the last, since July, the last several months, then why can't we continue this? The Trump administration is escalating the threats and the planning and the operations against Venezuela, because now not just do we have 2 USS aircraft carrier strike groups in the region, not only do we have 2 submarines in the region, I believe 2, at least 1 submarine in the region with sonar capabilities. Not only do we have more U.S. fighter jets on just the USS Gerald R. Ford alone, that it outpaces the number of total fighter jets in the entire Venezuelan Air Force. But
don't worry about that. That carrier will be sunk.
Which, according to recent satellite images that were taken over the past few days, show that the U.S. is rebuilding a military base in Puerto Rico in preparation for a possible war on Venezuela. Transport routes ready for jet and cargo planes are being prepared. Nearly a dozen tents set up, and a river drone already in place. There are more photos. New satellite images have also recorded new construction at the Henry E. Rolson Airport on the island of St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where the work is underway to expand the runway. It will also allow more military aircraft to be stationed there in the future, as well as the construction of a temporary facility where the U.S. Air Force's ANTPS-75 airspace control radar is currently deployed. If you consider the position on this base, it kind of looks like they're getting ready to move on Venezuela. As you can see right here, this stretch, this little peninsula right here, that is Venezuelan territory right there. Right here is Trinidad and Tobago. So this little stretch of the Gulf right there is a 10 to 15 minute boat ride from Trinidad and Tobago. And this is where U.S. troops were over the past week. To add to this, the propaganda machine is in full motion. The Nobel Peace Prize winner, Marina Corina Machado, who was the U.S.-backed opposition candidate for president.
And pay attention to the media agencies that actually promote this demon as a woman of peace. As you know, she got the Peace Prize, so she must be good. Oh, let me read the comments real quick. Trinidad and Tobago was supposed to grow another 3% this year. 80, 2026, 6%. Thank you, Kamala. Kaboom, yes. The all carriers in 2025 are nothing but targets.
President in the most recent presidential elections. She was caught, by the way, trying to do a false flag bombing attack on the U.S. Embassy. She also was the same person that called on Netanyahu to invade and liberate Venezuela from Maduro. She's doing a bunch of interviews with Donald Trump Jr., whoever this woman is, Michelle Hussein, and now she's just like going completely insane with what she's saying. She's
totally
saying that,
insane.
Not only is Venezuela a narco-terror state, she's also saying that, Venezuela...
This demon also said that once she gains power, she is going to kill like half of the Chavistas. She said this. I hope he mentions it here.
Venezuela probably meddled in the 2020 elections and was responsible for Donald Trump having his election stolen, as he claims. It probably wasn't just Joe Biden. It was Joe Biden and Nicolas Maduro working together to steal the election from Donald Trump. I kid you not. She said, I have no doubt Maduro's network has rigged elections in many countries, including the U.S., when asked about Venezuela meddling in the 2020 election. So Venezuela is a narco-terror state. It's a dictatorship.
No, but that thing with Venezuela meddling in the U.S. elections is actually, I think, true. Because what was it? A couple months ago, they came out this Dominion voting machine thing. You guys hear about that whole thing? And Venezuela was involved, and they knew that the voting machines could be hacked. And some I didn't really follow up on the story, but it was something to do with Venezuela and the voting machines, and how something hacked something. If you guys are interested, I'll pull that story. But that actually what she's saying is kind of accurate.
The election, Venezuela stole the election from Trump. She also has accused the Maduro regime of being Hamas, so they're also Hamas. Sebastian Gorka, the British agent that somehow slimily found his way into the Trump administration, claims that not only is Maduro Hamas, he's also Iran. He said that the tentacles of Iran have stretched into the Caribbean
which
in
is
the
true.
Maduro government. So,
which is true. Iran is in Venezuela, in a big way. You can go to supermarkets. There are huge Iranian supermarkets right now in Venezuela. There's statues of the Shah of Iran in Venezuela. So that part is true. Iran does have a great influence in Venezuela because Iran was the ones that got Venezuela over the United States sanctions. So those two countries have a great partnership together. I don't look at that as a bad thing.
Basically, any claims that not only is Maduro Hamas, he's also Iran. He said that the tentacles of Iran have stretched into the Caribbean in the Maduro government. So basically anything that scares the living hell out of 70-year-old Fox News viewers, Brett Baer viewers, or Sean Hannity viewers, that is Maduro. Maduro is everything. Maduro is literally the embodiment of evil. Right? He stole the elections. He did everything wrong. And he can be very easily toppled, according to all these people.
And this guy right here met with President Maduro after Maduro saved his fucking life. It was a whole fucking story because Jackson Hinkle has a large. He's like one of the most followed people on Twitter, on X. At least it was last year when they first started this. So they started blocking him, like because of his outspokenness. He's blocked on just about every platform, and they just recently gave him back his YouTube platform. Last week? So he went down to the Venezuela's election last year, and went to be an independent monitor. And as he was down there, he was actually at the voting stations. He has another channel. You can actually go look at all his videos if you want, if you don't believe me. But he was one of the election monitors, and he was showing videos of his work down there in Venezuela, doing his election monitoring, and he reported that everything was fair, and actually the election system in Venezuela is actually more secure than it is in the United States by far. So when he went back to his hotel, the CIA or let's say the opposition of Venezuela tried to send a kidnap crew to kidnap him and kill him. And Nicolas Maduro found out about that stuff. They went and they got him and protected him. So then after this whole, because there was a whole big series and a whole big drama on Twitter, everybody thought Jackson Hinkle was going to get killed, whatever. My keyboard sticking. My keyboard sticking. All right, so everybody thought he was going to get killed, but like after 2 days of not hearing from him, he finally surfaced and he was under the protection of Nicolas Maduro, and he actually, like for the first one of the first few people ever, one of the first few journalists, American journalists, that actually got to interview the president of Venezuela. It was amazing. It was amazing shit. So I've been following this stuff for years. This guy is just awesome. He's great.
The fact that President Maduro is ordering the distribution of rifles to workers' militias all across the country.
Listen to this.
He did everything wrong, and he can be very easily toppled, according to all these people, despite the fact that President Maduro is ordering the distribution of rifles to workers' militias all across the country. There are 2 to 3 million strong people's militia being handed out rifles right now. If the Venezuelan people are all going to rise up and overthrow Maduro and overthrow the government if he's airstriked or something, why is Maduro handing out rifles to 2 to 3 million people? Venezuelan President Maduro has also said he will begin constitutional work to revoke citizenship for those who promote or support U.S. propaganda calling for an invasion of Venezuela. So this, in my eyes, is preparing for the possibility of martial law coming to Venezuela if these strikes take place. You know, they are preparing for that, and they are setting the stage for restoring order in the country, which I think is fair and just given what the U.S. is threatening. We also had this. This is a very interesting note. A 3-star general who worked on the Department of Defense's Joint Staff, Lieutenant General Joe McGee, is retiring from the role after reported friction with the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Joint Chiefs of Staff Chair Dan Kane. McGee objected to Hegseth and Kane on a range of issues, including the Trump administration strikes on alleged drug smuggling boats in the Caribbean and what is going on with the Russia-Ukraine war continuing. So now you have lieutenant generals worked on the Department of Defense's Joint Staff who are retiring, whistleblowers coming out and saying, I will not take part in these strikes on fishermen from Trinidad and Tobago, from Colombia, from Venezuela. I will not participate in this. This is war pig, warmongering. We are waging a war on behalf of Epstein cartel, on behalf of Goldman Sachs, on behalf of BlackRock, and I will not be part of this. Now, U.S. Senator Rand Paul has also come out and staunchly oppose the U.S. strikes on Venezuelan fishermen from the Caribbean, and the potential war on Venezuela. Take a listen to what he has to say on his conversation with Glenn Greenwald this week.
Well, I think it is important to remember our history, even our recent history back to the Obama administration. I think he killed over 1,000 people with drones. They used to have Killing Terrorist Tuesdays where he had flashcards, and they'd go through the flashcards and pick people on the flashcards. This included an American citizen and the American citizen's 2 children. And I think nobody really made the allegation that any of them were carrying arms. They were sympathetic to terrorists. They had ideas that most civilized people disagreed with, but at the same time, they weren't in the middle of combat or engaged in combat. But the reason it's important is because we seem to have different standards. You know, when a Democrats in charge, Republicans, some were up in arms over this. Now that a Republican's doing it, Democrats are rightly up in arms against Trump, but some of them forget or are willing to forget that, you know, their hero, President Obama, was doing it as well. But you're right, that legal framework and that precedent has allowed President Trump to say, look, everybody does this, they're terrorists. And it's this circular argument. Who are terrorists? Well, the people I tell you who are terrorists. And what are terrorists? They're people who kill people in a terroristic way. And they're terrorists because I tell you they do this. It's like it's this circular argument with no proof presented. But there is a real problem with it.
So there you go. U.S. Senator Rand Paul is stating the obvious that the U.S. doesn't even know who they're airstriking in the Caribbean right now. These fishermen, alleged drug pushers, narco traffickers, they don't even know who they're striking. The U.S. struck one boat of Colombian fishermen. 2 of the men survived. They rounded up the surviving victims of this airstrike. The U.S. realized that they're just fishermen, couldn't prosecute them over anything, so they repatriated them to Colombia. Now, the funniest part, funny is maybe not the right word, the scariest part of all of this is that the U.S. government, the neocons, Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, they're coming out and saying, well, not only is Maduro Hamas, Iran, not only did he steal the 2020 election, not only is he a narco-terrorist, not only is he a dictator, not only is he a fraudulent leader, also Maduro, he is basically Al-Qaeda. Now that's an interesting point. They're saying that Maduro is Al-Qaeda. Maybe the U.S. should rethink this because the U.S. backed Al-Qaeda to take over Syria. They're about to welcome the former Al-Qaeda leader in Iraq and Syria to the White House this week. David Petraeus sat down with him a few weeks ago in New York, and the U.S. is actively backing Boko Haram, JNIM, Al-Qaeda affiliates all across Africa. I think that they might be lying about Maduro being Al-Qaeda because if that was true, the U.S. would be supporting him.
That's right.
Extensively, and arming him. And giving diplomatic cover to him. I think he's not Al-Qaeda. I think they maybe missed the mark on that one. But otherwise, I guess they can stick to their propaganda because that falls in line with their ideology and their propaganda and their claims.
All right, guys. So that's Jackson Hinkle. Give him a follow over on X and YouTube. He's an independent reporter, leader of the American Communist Party, and a hell of an entertaining person to listen to. I really wanted to show you that video with the with Antigua doing the 10%, talking about the 10% and discussing that 10% stuff, but I can't. I don't have enough knowledge in my head to actually explain it to you without a script, and I can't find the video. So I think that's it. What, unless you want to go see what's in the news right now. Ooh, thousands of Russian troops arrive in Venezuela and Trump says there will be no war. So Russia's in Venezuela. Whoop-de-doo. All of this is happening miles away from you, Trinidad and Tobago. And if you think you are not going to be affected by this, you're fucking stupid. You're sheep, you're cattle. You're seeing pieces being moved along on the chessboard. All of this is in frickin' Venezuela. Holy shit. But Trump don't want this smoke. Trump don't want no part of this. Trust me. If he does an airstrike against Venezuela, then I don't know. I'm wrong in my assessments, but I don't see it happening, man. He don't want this smoke. What the ass? This is Wagner. Oh my god, if Wagner is in frickin' Venezuela, you guys are so fucking screwed. And you know what I think? No, there's not going to be no attack on Venezuela. This is too much shit for Trump. Trump doesn't want to start his own war. And if he does, if he does start an attack in Venezuela, Trinidad will have to be used as a staging point, like Ukraine against Russia. So that is going to be leading to the destruction of Trinidad. The Wagner group don't fuck around. These guys are seasoned veterans. I've seen their freaking videos. I've seen the videos. I've seen the stuff they do with the drones. And now these guys are masters in drone tech. Like right now on the battlefield, the current drone technology they use is fiber optics. Because the radio control drones are vulnerable. And Russia has figured out a way, instead of attacking the drones in the sky, they will go after the transmitter, the actual signal that's transmitting the drone, which is usually the drone operator. It's a guy with a freaking joystick and a visor over his head. And Russia has perfected the art of drone hunting. The United States came to Trinidad to train our troops in their old, outdated technology. So you have Wagner. These dudes is freaking Wagner. You have them now. What do you think is going to happen in Trinidad? So, if we now in a military standpoint, we're now at war. We have to start thinking strategically. Trinidad will eventually have to become a staging point if the United States has to launch a successful attack on Venezuela, because they cannot do it from the water. And doing it from, they wouldn't do it, and I've heard videos of people saying this, that they could actually launch missiles from the United States. Yes, they can. But once you do that, that opens that territory that launched the missiles for a retaliatory strike. So if you launch, if the United States launches a aircraft from Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico, that aircraft goes and it strikes Venezuela, Venezuela has the right to go back and strike Puerto Rico. That's just the rules of war. So the US would not be launching any attacks from their land. They would rather do it from Trinidad, because like I said, Trinidad is right next door. Right, and they need the land, because aircraft carriers and all these battleships, they're useless in 2025 war. They used to be a power. They used to be a symbol of power 20 years ago, but in the age of drone warfare and hypersonic missiles and Oreshniks and all of this shit, those anything in the water is a target. So that is why they strategically have to go on land. And so now Trinidad and Tobago becomes like we're in between a tug of war. The United States would want that soil. Venezuela will want to protect themselves against Trinidad being loose as a launch point. So they will have to come into Trinidad. It's a whole lot of shit. And then once Venezuela comes into Trinidad, then what? How many people are going to die? These guys is no fucking joke. You have Wagner in frickin' Venezuela. I'm seeing this video for the first time with you guys, and I'm commenting live. This is not in Venezuela. This is not Venezuela. This is Russia, I think. All of this footage. They're preparing to send stuff to Venezuela. Wow. This is kind of boring, this video. Even though it's interesting seeing these tanks. Let me fast forward this.
Fracasó un avión de guerra.
This looks like Venezuela. Alright, I think this is another guy's podcast. Alright, so once again, guys, if you're interested in news, if you're interested in global politics, Twitter is the place to be. Get off of Facebook. There's nothing but stupid people over there. Breaking. Burkina Faso expressed solidarity with Venezuela. Foreign powers are incorrect to believe they can dictate to sovereign peoples. This is... I'm so glad they have this picture up. There is no way, and I said this before, there's no way you can love Ibrahim Traore and hate Nicolas Maduro. They are one and the same. They are fighting the same battles against the same imperialist forces. So you can be talking, you can be a UNC supporter and love this guy on the left and hate this guy on the right. Alright, so the empire's mask has fallen. Godado said it. They forgot the cocaine story and the Trinidad tale. Now they only talk about how to seize Venezuelan oil. Wake up, people! And you still have the media in Trinidad and Tobago talking about drug war. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un held a moving ceremony to welcome the soldiers returning from fighting in Ukraine. He was deeply moved, hugged them, and presented them with medals in recognition of their service. Kim Jong-un is another great leader. Oh man, this is wow. They look at this man as a god. His people look at him as a god. How beautiful. Give that a like. Yeah. Have you guys been following that story about Charlie Kirk? The government has been given 30 days to disclose what it knows about United States military strikes in the Caribbean, including whether Trinidad and Tobago nationals were killed in one of the operations following the issuance of a Freedom of Information Act request. This is the new Venezuelan video. I played this for you guys already. Breaking news, more weapons are coming for Venezuela. Super powerful weapons with greater range to target any country that wants to mess up our party, the dance, and steal our oil in cahoots with stupid. I think you know who they're talking about here. Trini's in New York today going and tell everybody they helped Zoran win the elections. They go be calling people back home and all to tell them. Actually, when I was live on Labor Day, I actually shook Zoran Mandami's hand. I caught that on video. You could actually go back and look at the Labor Day Labor Day Live that I did in Brooklyn, and Mandami came up and shook my hand. Gaddafi, another great leader. So all of these leaders that they tell you that are demons, that are dictators, that are tyrants or whatever, they're actually the total opposite. And one of these days, I'm actually make this I'm gonna make this announcement right now. Everything you know about North Korea is a lie. Everything. And I'll show you that in the future. Here's what it. Can I show this on YouTube? This is what drone war is like. I don't want to show you that. You will get a strike on YouTube for showing like war deaths and stuff.
L'un mal nécessaire pour nous. Contre l'impérialisme, c'est ça. Qu'il passe. Moi je pleure le peuple français. Mais quand même, il est bien pour l'Afrique. L'un mal nécessaire pour nous.
Oh my God! You guys are not even seeing the freaking show slides that I'm showing you.
Il faut décoloniser les mentalités, prendre en compte toutes ces données-là, parce que le monde nous donne tellement d'exemples à voir.
Shit, sorry.
Pour eux,
I gotta be paying attention.
Il n'y a pas de morale.
Start over.
Ils peuvent vous dire qu'il passe. Moi, je pleure le peuple français.
I truly feel sorry for the French
Mais
people.
quand même, il est bien pour
But this is good for Africa.
L'un mal nécessaire
for us, it's a necessary
contre
evil.
l'impérialisme.
This is what the fight against imperialism is
Il
about. We
faut
must
décoloniser
decolonize
les
our mentality,
mentalités,
consider all these
prendre en
facts.
compte toutes ces données-là, parce que le monde nous donne
Because
tellement
the world
d'exemples
gives
à
us
voir.
so many examples.
Pour eux, il n'y a
There's
pas
no
de
human
morale.
morality among
Ils
Westerners.
peuvent vous désigner
Today
aujourd'hui
they can
terroriste,
openly declare
mais
you a
demain,
terrorist,
vous
and
êtes un
tomorrow
héros.
make you a hero.
Par leur simple bouche.
With their
Ils
simple
décident ce
language,
qu'ils
they
font.
decide what to do.
Ils parlent de
Wow,
démocratie,
what
mais
an
ils se font
insult.
eux-mêmes des coups d'État. Qu'ils passent. Moi, je pleure le peuple
Sorry about
français.
that, guys. I wasn't showing you
Mais
the
quand même,
slides.
il est bien pour la...
So once again, this is Twitter, and if you care about global politics and want to keep yourself up to date with breaking news, Twitter is the place to be. And this is the place where Gustavo Petro made that announcement to Kamla Persad-Bissessar to go retrieve those bodies. What is this right here? Venezuela is on high alert as report confirms the presence of U.S. forces gathering in the Caribbean Sea. Tensions are rising in the region, fueling speculation about Washington's next move. I don't think Trump is going to strike. Another blue wave of incoming betrayal. He's talking about Zoran Mandami. Broadcasting on Twitter, so it's an easy platform to dominate, like, especially if you're in the Caribbean. You'll be number one real quick. So as soon as you go on Twitter, you will see my post just come right up. We also have a website. Follow us on the Workers' Right website at www.workersright868.com. Visit the site, sign up. There's a whole ton of new features coming. You can also view the live stream from that website also. We're also broadcasting for the first time on Twitch. That's Twitch is traditionally a gaming platform for gamers, but for the first time we're actually on there. So to the Twitch viewers, I have not fixed my chat, so I have to somehow connect the OBS to the chat in order to see a chat. I hear the dings, the ding ding ding, people chatting, but I can't see it. But anyway, guys, thank you for viewing the Slimy Show. Like and subscribe. Share the video if you like my content. If you learned something, give a thumbs up in the chat. I will try to come back on tomorrow if there's any breaking news. But thank you for coming in, and good night.
Fuck Israel all day, every day. Fuck Israel till my last breath. Fuck Israel till I'm in jail or I get shot. Fuck Israel. Fuck Zionism. Fuck you and fuck you. Fuck Israel. That's it, man. Fuck you, you colonial fucking settlers. Go fuck off back wherever you came from. You murdering psychopath colonizer motherfuckers. Fuck you. Fuck Israel. You will never accept Israel. Fuck you till the end of days. Fuck you. I have a platform, and I'm going to yell it as loud as possible. Fuck Israel. Fuck you. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Good night.